This was actually one of the games that forced me to kind of figure out a claw grip.
Freaking hell.
Especially when you have the leaf and you want to be holding B and tapping A.
On an NES controller, that's not exactly too easy to do.
Yeah, it's a bit easier on a dog bone. Wait, what?
I see. You say split on the course clear, so you're not going to let us just get 3 stars. I see how you are.
Oh, we had a little hiccup, but we're back with quality options.
Okay, yeah, no drop frames here. I think it was just quality kicking in.
Yeah, good that happened now.
Yep.
Thanks for coming so quickly, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's a good thing we started the stream up so early.
You guys picked a good one to show up for, actually.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good match.
Good for who?
For everyone. Except the loser, I guess. But even then, you'll have memories.
Thanks for the memories.
How in the world? Wait. Hold the phone here. How in the
And so everyone's kind of trying to... Well, everyone, we got 2 people today, but these 2 guys
Everyone.
they're making choices, basically,
How do you
about what they're gonna do, because it's possible they might not be able to follow the route.
Huh. Okay. I'll do that once.
I wonder if there's like older Mario runs out there that are less technical, have some
Maybe.
safer strats.
No, I think I see how that.
Wait, Cards, do you have items in your run? Like if
Wait.
if you die in
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
die and then go back to the overworld. I'm just double checking the save state now, and the save state I'm looking at has items.
Mine does.
Yours does. Okay, alright, so then I didn't confuse the goals then. But error, yours doesn't have items.
Did you game over? Does that even matter?
If you game over, you would lose them, but I don't see how you would have.
Like, how do I game over with 55 lives?
That's true.
Yeah, can you reload the save state? And just let me see where it starts you from.
How did I just fight Luigi?
I guess it was a 2-player game.
No? Wait. No? What? How did you fight Luigi?
Huh?
Wait,
It's like I couldn't control Mario, so it's just like I all of a sudden just attacked or pressed the button. It's like, oh, I just fought Luigi.
Are you playing net play or something? Like, just completely doing your own thing? How?
so can you
I
check?
remember
now?
that if you were in 2-player mode, then there was something you could do to go into the battle. I can't remember what.
Yeah. Basically, I was on top of Luigi and attacked him.
Oh, Eric, can you reload the save state and just let it sit with the thing paused before going into anything? I want to see what the first frame looks like.
Sure.
Alright, I guess I can DS my way through that level.
Errors reading state 1. Hang on, let me just...
You've got a
reload
movie
this.
going, so it's going to do that if you try to load a non-movie save state.
Okay, stop movie.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's open a reset ROM. Let's start over with Mario 3. Let's load the save state. Start the movie.
That's not gonna work.
So I've got 56 lives and 62 coins, and my score is... Here, let me just watch cards.
Looks right. But,
Okay.
to test it, once you get the thing going, just go in there and get killed and see what your inventory says.
Oh, dying's not hard.
Oh, really? Speed death goal.
There is no way in hell I'm gonna keep P-Speed here.
Like, where's my Mario guy?
What? What the hell
Okay,
just
are
happened?
you... Yeah, that's messed up. Are you using the version of the ROM that you downloaded from us?
Yes! And then I press A, and all of a sudden I'm fighting Luigi.
It's like you game over. Like, it sends you back to the start like that, but you didn't game over. And you went past the start and disappeared.
It's like I should be going into the pipe. Because that's technically where my last save is. Okay, Luigi died.
Are you using version FCEUX 2.2.2 or 0?
0.
Okay, alright. FC,
try that.
let's get the latest version. And I think that's gonna fix our problem.
Oh, you're killing me here.
Yeah, they're 2.2.2 and 2.2.0 are very, very, very close. But then every now and then something pops up.
You could have told me there was a new version of FCUX.
Well, we haven't really seen a lot of problems with it, but... Or why don't we put like a 4-minute moratorium on practicing? How about that? And I'll pause
Okay.
the timer. Okay, so stop getting better at things right now, cards.
My hands are off my controller.
No watching that speedrun video either. Kappa.
It's not like I'm gonna be good at. It's not like I'm gonna be any good at getting P-Speed by my estimation. So, not sure how much it'll matter.
Was pretty horrible at it.
Cards is doing some image training.
I gotta resize the window.
Ooh, cursor trails. You got different kinds of cursors in there too. You got the text thing and the arrow and the mouse. The hand, I mean. What a really weird way for that to glitch out, though.
Yeah.
I forget how to resize my window.
Okay, yeah, things are in a slightly different place in this. If you go to... I don't know, go to Video under Windowed Settings. You hit the size multiplier and force integral scaling factors. I think also dragging the corner will resize it by integers as well. I could be wrong.
Mario 3, let's make a movie. Now, let's load the script.
Man, Bad Dudes has some rockin' music. Some seriously rockin' music. It's too bad it's such an obnoxious speed game. It's basically an auto-scroller beat 'em up. But the music is so good. And the synth voice.
Oh man, that's loud.
Fire.
Yep, the default sound volume settings on emulators, ear piercing. Alright, cool. And once you're in there, just die real quick and give it a check that we got all the items.
Oh, I've got to remap my keys on my controller too.
Yeah, no problem. We got time. We started basically on time, so...
Actually, maybe I can keyboard kill myself. How do I jump again? Which button?
Well,
There
you
we
may as
go.
well map your controller, right? You're gonna need it eventually.
Battletoads is easy. You can do it on keyboard, no problem.
It might be easier to dash.
See what you did there.
Yes, that's very true.
I should map these turbo controller buttons too, right?
Sure.
Never know.
Oh, shoot, let me back mine. Damn it.
I recently made goals for a game where people often reconfigure their controllers, and I had to like choose what the controls were going to be in the save state, and then so I just added a note that was, oh nice, you got the warp whistles. Make sure you don't use those
Yeah.
accidentally.
That could happen, unfortunately.
Oops.
But you do get a star, so you can run through some stuff, and you get a music box in case you get Hammer Brother trolling. Just in case.
Right, yeah, that would definitely come in handy.
And you get a Tanuki suit that you can switch into if you're feeling saucy. Alright, things look good on your end, Error?
Looked
Yeah,
like
they
it.
look good.
Cool. Alright, we're gonna...
You didn't go
Start.
spinning off the map.
Alright,
And start a
back on
two-player
practicing
game.
then. Yeah, you didn't... Exactly. Items disappear, go flying off the map into limbo, and then start playing original Mario Brothers in 2-player.
I also have actually started off with a star as one of my items, which was different from the other.
Yep.
That's normal.
That's what you should have there. And we're back on.
On the bright side, you can now play Top Gun. If you were to
I
do
actually
that-
have that game.
If you were to do it on
Speed.
2.2.0, it would be all the UI on the bottom would not stay at the bottom whenever you tilted the plane down.
Oh
So
man,
like
I just
a copy of it would drift upwards and cover your whole screen.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Yeah. A bunch of people ran into it when Top Gun was in the Big 20.
So close.
So I was cut off because I was completely mystified about what was happening on Error's screen. But everyone's gonna have to make choices here about how they're gonna tackle these stages. Because if you decide that following the speedrun is not realistic, you have to figure out where you're gonna cut corners and make compromises, and that comes in a lot of different flavors in a game like this. You could just slow down, maybe I'm not going to do P-speed, or maybe I'm going to take a moment to make sure I get P-speed, or maybe I'm just going to damage boost and lose the fire flower and just keep going, and there's a lot of different options. So there's a lot for these guys to think about here.
Yeah, and this level here with the rising water line and the fish that jump out is quite a pain. There's a lot of planning and a lot of risk.
No, that's not gonna work. Nope. Nope.
Oh right, I forgot you're actually faster than your fireballs when you're at max speed.
That's not what I wanted to do. speed here.
Some people in chat talking about Mario Maker. That's a really cool thing, but it seems like everyone agrees that Mario 1 and 3 don't look very good with the drop shadow. Or it looks okay, but it's not what they prefer.
Not quite authentic enough. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they did a pretty good job of making Mario Maker look like the originals, but you can definitely tell by looking.
Yeah, and the physics change slight.
That's to be expected. When you
Yeah.
rewrite a game engine, you're going to have not quite the same physics. It would have been hard to reproduce everything.
I guess the further you go back, the more the physics change. Back in time, that is. Because I know some people who were like, "Man, Mario 1, yeah," and then they went, they did some Mario Maker, and then they, for whatever reason, went back to play the original, and they were like, "Oh no, this is not the same at all." Oh, I see what that star's for. Goodbye, Hammer Brothers.
Maybe.
So maybe those cheaps, I don't know. There's a lot going on in this goal.
Yeah, Star won't last long enough to get to the cheaps.
You could just use it to get the cool somersaults.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
I only used it because I had to use it to get by the Hammer Brother. Because he's trolling.
Hammer Brothers be trolling. It's the story of Mario 3 and Mario 1 and Ninja Gaiden, strangely.
Yeah, I just posted another video in Skype chat. This is TMR's from a year ago, I do believe. In case you guys want to check that out.
Better Twitch TV is trying to give me a chat on this VOD, and it's squishing everything over to make room for it, but there's nothing there.
Alright, I can do that.
Yeah, you're right. You outrun the fireballs at speed. It sucks.
Actually, hold on, let's see what Rich does here.
looks like TMR gets the 3 stars in his PB here.
Oops.
This stage seems like it was designed specifically to annoy speedrunners.
4-3?
This 4-1 here. Or whatever the first one is.
Ah, maybe something I can reproduce.
There's just not quite enough room to get P-speed. There's enemies that come from the top and fall down, such that if you're running full speed, they're kind of unavoidable.
There's another one I found, which gives you guys a good idea of what you're trying to do in 4-1 there. Both of you guys trying to figure out a good way to get P speed in the very first screen.
Oh, thanks, Ark. I added that link to the goal description, so future runners can benefit from that too.
Oh, right. Okay, I know how I want to do that. Okay.
I can get P speed in the first goal sometimes, or the first level, but I can't keep it.
Nice job. Okay.
Because I seem to be terrible at duck jumping.
Let's see.
How do you duck jump?
You duck and then you jump.
Seems simple enough.
So that I have to be ducking long and I really want to.
That might actually be
Yeah,
doable
you have to
now.
be ducking before you jump.
Yeah. Well, I knew that, it's just... You can't make that jump.
I think even if you're going full speed, if you get right next to something in Fireball, you can kind of jam it right in their face before you zoom past the Fireball. But it's probably
yeah.
pretty tight.
Yeah, that's relatively tight timing from what I remember. Gotta get used to how fast the fireball goes once you shoot it.
There's some semblance of a thought there.
Yeah, some damage strats in 4-3 there. Don't need to preserve your power-ups for the rest of the game when you're stopping at 4-3, so you lose a bit of time as you do the animation where you shrink down, but it's not a lot, and if it ups your consistency, it could be worth thinking about.
Remember where, when you're recording, which setting it is to remove the little red dot in the lower right-hand corner? Oh, movie options.
It's, yeah. No, it's config display.
Oh,
It's the menu config, then you go to display, and then movie status.
Movie status icon. Okay. That's right.
Is there a market in Mario Maker for just like regular ass Mario levels? Where people just make levels that are like maybe a little challenging and usually pretty fun?
There must be people who go for like aesthetically pleasing levels, or levels that
Yeah.
That look interesting rather than being insanely hard.
There's a
Well, not
a
even
lot
just
of,
the way it looks, but like even the way it plays, as long as, yeah, as long as it's not crazy hard.
Just fun, well-balanced levels.
Or
I don't know, the
yeah,
people that I
well
watch
balanced.
have kind of an insane mindset, so I think
Yes.
maybe we've only been seeing...
Speedrunners tend to gravitate towards the pangas and the
Right.
yeah.
what
There's a lot of novelty levels. There's a lot of puzzle levels. There's a lot of just interesting mechanics levels. Like Dead has
Yeah.
made a couple of Super Mario World ones.
Oh, that almost works.
everyone wants to be special, right? So they all try to make their level special in some way. But I'm wondering if there's someone out there who's just like, here are some non-special, regular-ass Mario levels I made.
Yeah, I think I
That's
better
what I
learn
would
to
do.
jump there. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Nope. Okay. Ah! Still can't figure out that last part of the room. Oh, that is a nice job. Okay. Ah. Mm. Oh.
It's not quite the way I planned the level, but okay.
There we go. Oh, almost.
How much time do we have left?
We've got just over 30 minutes.
I don't know how I feel about that, but might have to do. Let's see here.
So it looks like Cards has made his way through all 3 levels and sort of made some decisions about how he's going to go. But it looks like Air still has to figure some things in those other levels out.
Remember that I put 2 extra runs in the Skype chat, and they're also in the goal page if you guys want some extra search material.
Yeah, if you just refresh the page, they should appear.
Oh, I have to add Karua's as
I
well.
already did.
Oh, you did. Thank you.
Austin Coulston in chat says,
That's a
how does
good
this
question.
race work?
I can answer that for you. Well, so the idea is these players are only doing 3 levels. They're doing short goals in each of these matches. So for this game right here, for match 2, we're going to be doing Mario 3, and they're just going to be doing stages 4-1, 4-2, and 4-3. And this is not like an SRL race, in that it's not 2 players starting at the same time trying to reach the same endpoint, but rather we give the players 30 minutes to do as many attempts as they can of these 3 stages of the game. And the players need to get as good a PB as they can by the end of that 30 minutes. And whoever's got the better PB when time runs out is the winner. So it's not so much a race as a matter of how fast you can learn a run, or learn a part of a run, and then execute on it.
Yeah, so you're learning things like in a regular speedrun, you learn all the hardest stuff, and you practice and you practice and you practice until you can do it. For a blind run, well, I mean, you don't know anything, but if you were to race, you would try to get some strats that are kind of consistent, because you only get the one shot at it, and it needs to go well. This is kind of in between the two. You don't have one shot, but you also don't have unlimited shots. So
Right.
you need to kind of strike a balance between how risky you want to play it and how safe you want to play it, and what kind of time you want to shoot for. So that's the strategy element that we add to our show.
Yep, they've already done the Battletoads practicing ahead of time. They've had this past week to work on it, as you may have seen. So the Battletoads, they're going to be a bit further along the learning curve than they are with Mario 3.
And even then, they're not doing everything that
No,
speedrun
because
does.
Terratubes in particular has got some insane things in it that we probably are not going to see in a run from one of these players today, but you would have to go for if you wanted a world record.
Yeah,
There-
yeah. If
yeah,
you
there
ever
were-
watched JC's run of both any percent and warpless Battletoads, you really should check it out, because they're both pretty amazing, pretty crazy.
It's interesting in this game. The game has changed a lot since I started following speedruns. So I mean, just in the last 5 years or so, I think I've seen Battletoads, the Battletoads warpless and any percent both look completely different.
Back when I think Empty Eye is the first name I think of when I think of Battletoads.
Right. At some point, people didn't even do the same warps in any percent. They would do the surfings. Wait, which is the one you don't want to do? You wanna skip the surfing section.
Into the snakes, I think.
Is that what it is?
In which category are you talking about?
In any percent, there's 2 ways you can do the warps, like whether you take the warp in ice caverns or not. I can't remember what it is. There's 2 sort of similar paths. Alright, I'm gonna look it up.
I remember there's a death abuse in the first like auto-scrolling rail cart, and then in the snake section, there's a warp that they take. I can't remember if the death abuse is in any percent or not.
Oh, death abusing in the snake level to...
No, death abusing in the vehicle level, the first one. Can't remember if that's in any percent or not.
The turbo tunnel, I
Yeah,
think
the
is
turbo
what that's
tunnels.
called.
Talking about stage 3. That's right, the wrong warp there. Well, we're not going to see any turbo tunnel today, though.
No, and hopefully no wrong warping. It'll be a discovery. It won't be helpful. Lord knows there's some glitchiness to that game, so I wouldn't be completely surprised if something new and insane happened.
Yeah, Battletoads is a pretty broken game these days.
Okay, alright, I know what I'm thinking of. It used to be that you would take the warp in Turbo Tunnel and skip Arctic Caverns and go to Surf City. And then
okay.
beat Surf City normally onto Karnath's lair, and now you don't take the warp in Turbo Tunnel and you do Arctic Caverns and take the warp there to skip Surf City and go to Karnos Lair. So that's what I'm thinking of. That's what's changed, because it's kind of similar, but people nowadays are good enough at Arctic Caverns that they'd rather take that than do the auto-scroller Surf City, because that one can't be sped up. Yep, what Tionic says. Exactly.
Both Battletoads and, of course, Mario 3 have had long, rich speedrunning histories.
That's right, I remember PJ running Battletoads from quite a while back.
Oh, what?
I think when I started... So, go on.
Well, I was going to say I was really surprised to learn for Mario 3 that Frezzy Man's run is still, I believe it's second, despite being 5 years old.
That's pretty much what I was going to say, actually. Yeah, that when I started out watching it was Frezzy Man who had the any percent run, and that run survived for quite a long time. For a game that's so popular, it's crazy to see a run last as long as it does.
Yeah, any percent no wrong warp. 4 seconds slower than Mitch Flower Power is Frezzy Man from 6 years ago now.
Yep.
The original Suite of Speeds legacy lives on.
Yep, this was back when he had the Contra and the Rescue Rangers records.
I think at Classic Games Done Quick, it was like a tie between him and Andrew G for most games. They were each doing like 10.
Yep, that's right.
So Classic Games was what?
11?
2009?
2011? January
Really?
of 2011, I think.
Hmm.
And then the first HDQ was January 2012.
It's definitely 1 year before the first AGDQ.
Alright.
Should be easy enough to trace back. But yeah, there's what, 5 years plus of speedrunning history on both these games, and our poor players got 1 week and 1 hour to follow in their footsteps.
Screwed. I'm doomed.
HDQ in 2011? I can't remember. I thought that it was CGDQ was January 2011 and the first AGDQ was January 2012. But maybe I'm shifted forward by 1 year. It may be 2010 for CGDQ, but that doesn't seem right.
I don't know, I'm with the chat on this one.
Dang.
That's kind of cool that
Shot down.
these marathons have been going on long enough that we don't even remember the start of them.
Thinking that would help avoiding all stars.
Wow, you're totally right. It was 2010 for CGDQ and 2011 for HDQ. Wow. How has it been so long?
Yeah. And this was, I mean, think about how long it took speedruns to get popular enough to even put together a marathon, so...
Right, yeah, the 10 years before that, people were just learning what speedruns were. And then all of a sudden, streaming happens, and then... well, bam. Actually, at the time that CGDQ happened, a lot of people, most speedrunners didn't stream. I think there were... I mean, you can count on one hand, probably.
Yeah, it was still a
Speedrunners
really
that were
new
streaming.
thing.
Yeah, the Classic Games Done Quick is when I first even realized that streaming was a thing that people do when they're speedrunning. It's crazy.
Oh boy, between Battletoads giving my left hand to work out and this giving my right hand to work out, both my hands are going to be probably achy in the morning.
Oh, that's well balanced. That's good. Glad to see that I'm damaging different parts of your hands. Each of these goals. That's very good.
Yep,
Just sabotaging it so that Jorf wins the whole thing. And
Is he your
he
favorite
gets his
to the
prediction.
bracket? I've seen that the only way I can lose my second place spot is if Jorf goes to the end.
I think Fiesel has the top spot almost all but locked up. I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
much.
was for a while.
Almost.
Jeff got ahead of me, but then after the last set of matches, back on top.
Yeah, like the only scenario in winners finals where Fiesel doesn't get the win is if Jorf beats me in winners finals. So Jorf has to get there, I have to get there, but Jorf can't win. And if that happens, then I think Hagspam would surpass you in points.
Well,
I better not let that happen then.
Oh yeah, definitely. I really care about winning the bracket picks. It's very important to me, so don't let me down.
Influences all of our decisions behind the scenes.
Right.
Of course, to show you how confident I was in actually getting anywhere, I had Toad beating me. And Toad lost state one, so... thanks, Toad.
To be fair, I had Toad beating me too.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Cards had some upsets on the way here.
Some?
And I want to attribute it to just sheer persistence and practice. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's how I usually do it.
That's why I was hoping this would be mystery matches, because I know Cards is really good at practicing, and
Yeah, I think my mystery game record is like something like 12-12 or something. And that has like 2 3-0s. So my mystery game record, it very much speaks for itself.
I know at least like 4 mystery game losses that you have are to me. But you're 2-0 in main games. So yeah. Yeah.
Shoot, get back here. Get back here. Whatever.
I just did the freaking pixel perfect clip through the pipe
Nice, I saw that.
for like half a second. It's like, ah.
I'm totally not comfortable having peace beat there. Rack. Got stars, that's not a good sign. Oh, fricky frick.
Did we have Mario 3 on at some point recently?
I've seen
Oh, you know
Mario
what?
2 a few times.
I think it was. I think I'm thinking of Best of NES because I remember saying this thing I'm about to say right now is that when you play this game, you're almost learning two different routes. You're learning the P-speed route, and then you're learning what to do when you lose P-speed, because it's a completely different route, and it can there's a lot of levels in a regular speedrun. So I think, especially when you're first beginning, players run into all these situations where they're like, "Oh crap, I've lost P-speed here. What do I do?" Because everything is different now, and yeah, you end up learning how to do these levels with P-speed and without. And I think our players are getting a bit of that.
Mostly
Like
without
in-
P-speed.
Yeah, mostly without.
Mostly.
But if you do lose P-speed, you can reset. That is an option available to you. But it's looking like you'll at least want to know, so that if you're forced to, you can still get through. Just another thing, another layer that the players have to think about here.
I know one thing I wish I had figured out is how to not consistently not get the star cards.
I did play enough Mario 3 as a kid to know to get whatever card I wanted, for the most part.
It was always a toss-up whether I got the mushroom or the flower. I learned I'm terrible at the slide puzzle thing. I played through all of Mario 3, and I think I only won the slide puzzle matchup thing once. I went to all of them.
I learned the slide puzzle pretty good too.
I tried looking for visual cues, and by the time I kind of figured it out, maybe the game was over.
There actually is a visual cue for it.
There totally is, but it's different for all three layers.
Not really.
I think it is.
We should split. Okay, 4-2 is going to really seriously piss me off because fish!
Yeah, that's a good point brought up in the chat about the star cards. They do need to not get a star on one of these.
It wouldn't be a Mario 3 speedrun if you had to worry about getting 3 stars.
Right. Yeah, they have a card to start. I did this from the tasks. I made the save state, so it just so happens that tasks had already collected a star. But I think that's a good thing, because that's just one of the aspects of running Mario 3. You're spending all this time trying to go really fast, but at the same time you have to lose a very controlled amount of time at the end someplace. It's one of those staple moves in Mario 3 speedrunning.
Absolutely.
It has a very, very big resemblance to the Yoshi's Island bonus skips. Kind of the same principle.
Yeah, thank God the setups are easier.
That's true. We do need a joke about cards of the heart and star cards. We'll come up with one.
Cards of the star.
If someone gets... Come on, you gotta dig a little deeper than
Nailed
that.
it. Nailed it. We're done. We can move on.
I was overthinking it.
Yeah, it sounds like Myth doesn't want to be one-upped.
Yeah, just be first one in and then cut off all other competition.
I hate you all. Not really, I love you guys. Except when you make terrible puns.
Well, you're gonna hate us a
You're
little
on,
bit
yeah,
tonight.
you're on the wrong show, I think.
Right.
Go me.
Nice. There he goes. He's inside the wall. What you gonna do in there, Mario? You silly goose.
I'm going to skip stage 7-1, man.
This guy's the wizard. He just knows to go out of bounds and find a warp whistle.
Yeah, I've done it by accident. It's just watching players,
Twice. Yeah. They'll run at that wall over and over. They're like, I can't get it. And there's error. So give me that. I'll get you in there. I don't think I've seen Error take a crack at 4-3, really.
I spent about 20 minutes on it.
Really.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Like, I started as soon as, like, I asked what time it was. It's like, there's 30 minutes, and then it's like, well, I spent 15 minutes on it. But since you had asked, I'll do 3 right now. And get trolled right at the beginning. That's fine.
Although I've definitely seen you, like, glitch through that pipe. But I feel like I haven't seen much of this red, starry area on your screen. That's just me. I never really figured that out. That they just... I guess it's supposed to be like gems sparkling in a cave.
I guess that is what that is.
Because it kind of made sense. Even though when you stop and think about it, going down a pipe and ending up in outer space doesn't make sense. So I was like, so why does it make sense? Let's think about this for a second.
Well, in this stage that we're looking at here on Error Screen, why is the water constant level and everything in the world is going up and down? That doesn't make sense.
What if the camera's moving with the water?
You're freaking me out here.
It's all relative, man.
Great. I only practice the stage with P-speed.
I don't see anybody Tanukiing. What's wrong with you guys?
Because flying is slow.
Yeah, it sure is.
It can be, if you actually start flying.
I actually meant that why aren't you turning into a stone statue so enemies can't hit you?
Yeah, that's a good way to speedrun. Is to be still so that you can turn into a literal statue.
No timer for cards because he's still just doing... Wait, cards'
His
timer's
timer's
there.
at the bottom.
He's got a
on-
timer
it's
now.
on
He
bottom.
didn't have one earlier, but now he's doing some attempts here.
Yeah, some people like to use the script for practice and some don't.
Some people like to put their splits at the top even when there's a perfectly good HUD at the bottom that they can cover.
Some people put ketchup on mac and cheese. I'll never understand it,
That's
but I
pretty weird.
respect it.
I like ketchup and mac and cheese, and I can't. The thought of them both on the same dish horrifies me. Oh shoot! That's gonna be an interesting place to lose it.
4.5 minutes left. Practice time is drawing to an end. As soon as practice is over, we'll be going directly into our first match, which is going to be Battletoads. That'll last 30 minutes, and then we'll have a 30-minute match of Mario 3. And these players can put all their practice to good use. And then another 30-minute match of Battletoads, a different goal of Battletoads.
Oh, there it is. The Tanooks.
There's Tanooks.
Necessity, and yeah, I can't. No, I can't do that.
Turn into a statue.
When all else fails. Panicking.
It's panic mode. The Tanuki suit.
I put ketchup on eggs.
Ketchup on eggs is fine, but hot sauce is better, so why would you?
Well, there are people who put hot sauce on anything, so anytime someone says
That's
put
true,
hot
you put hot
sauce on
sauce on it.
something, I'm always like, yeah, but
It's true, but I feel like eggs in particular, eggs specifically, are a common thing to put hot sauce on.
I'll buy that.
I mean, you're right that people will be, oh, yeah, put hot sauce on ice cream, you know, just whatever. But no, I think eggs and hot sauce goes together.
That's gonna be a really annoying place to lose
Eggs are a
speed.
nice base.
Yeah, right. You can add flavorful things to it.
I should try chocolate chips.
Oh, you mean adding chocolate chips to eggs?
Yes.
Okay.
Or ketchup and chocolate chips. But, oh man, I don't want to waste those two things.
Ketchup and chocolate chips, please.
Like, would it just be like a bowl of ketchup? And then you just
Just
sprinkle
drop
the
a few
chips in?
chocolate chips.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
great.
I love ketchup, but
Well, tonight Battletoads is the ketchup, and Mario 3 is the chocolate
Yeah.
chips.
well, we'll see which of these two players is stuck playing ketchup.
I'm sorry, but I'm with Error. Even that one, kind of got you kind of gotta give that a wah wah.
I could have done it better on the delivery. I hung myself out to dry with the delivery, and I'm okay with that.
There are probably like at least 57 different varieties of ways you could have delivered that joke better.
I
Like
see
if-
what you did there.
If the pun
Jerk.
is if the pun is everything, like it's not gonna work. But
I
if
get the
it's-
feeling. I get the feeling I'm the only one who understood what cards 57 meant.
No, I got him. Just try not to dignify that with the response.
Oh god. Gonna need a bunch of puns tonight to distract from the pain that is Battletoads.
you need is the subtle pun.
I can't do 4-3 now.
I told you.
I can't
You said you
get to
practiced
4-3
it, but
now.
I think you imagined it.
You got 1 minute to figure it out. That's plenty of time.
Exactly.
Cards did a nice jump under the box, go all the way around, land on top, and still get a star.
Yep. Okay. Shoot. Can't quite control myself.
Is that how ketchup got its name? I'm kind of curious. Even though we managed to segue away from disgusting food and back into video games, with 1 minute left until we start our show proper, I just want to just drag everything back, just to learn this fact. But that's okay. None of them can give it to me in chat while we move on with our lives.
Whatever. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, yeah.
Well. Time is up, so we are going to be moving over to Battletoads and getting set up for our first match. If you want to do your rundown.
Sure. Oh, right. Normally I write this
Normally you
and
got a
make
whole
sure.
thing.
Yeah. But, like, This time it's going to be a copy-paste of last time. So I'm worried I'm going to be like, today we've got a match with Toad and Tolu and all these other people who aren't here. But let's just dive into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to SGL, Speed Gaming League, the ongoing speedrun competition that combines skill, strategy, and fun. How it works is we gave the players a week to practice 2 goals, and today they're going to try to give us the best runs they can in a series of 30-minute matches. In addition, we also gave them a mystery game just before the show started. They've only had an hour to practice. I am your host, Mythical9, and with me as always is my co-host, Feasel. What games are we going to be seeing today?
Hi, Mythical. 2 games we're going to be seeing today are Battletoads and Super Mario Bros. 3. We've got 2 matches of Battletoads, the first and the third. You'll be seeing Battletoads Ice Caverns in the first match, and you'll be seeing Terratubes in the third match. Our second match is our mystery game, which was revealed an hour ago to be Mario Bros. 3. So, let's see, why don't I introduce our players here. Player on the left is Cards of the Heart. How you doing today, Cards?
Hey guys, how's it going?
And the player on the right is Error72. Hello, Error. How you doing?
Hi, hello. I am Error. I am not in the bathroom right now.
Okay, good. So that sounds like we got both players here. Clearly.
Hey, I had the speedrun bathroom.
Right. Good timing, good timing. Alright, so these 2 players have made it to the... What did we call this? We're calling this the quarterfinals, but it's technically the semifinal round of the winners bracket.
Yes, I like the original. I like going with quarterfinals.
Yeah, because there's 4 matches in this round, 2 in the winners bracket, 2 in the losers bracket. So, you know, quarter kind of makes sense in a way. But yeah, so these 2 and the 2 people that you'll see tomorrow afternoon, we've got Jorf and Cananophone. Is that right? Mm-hmm. They're doing Wendy Every Which Way. That's the other of the top 2 people in the winner's bracket. So the winner of tonight's match and the winner of tomorrow's match will face off against each other in the finals of the winner's bracket, which is I guess overall the semifinals of our tournament in total, because then the winner's bracket has to play the loser's bracket.
Double elimination.
Yeah, double elimination. That's how it goes. So neither of the players tonight has lost a match yet, has lost a matchup yet, so they're both still going to be in the tournament. It's just that one of them is going to be knocked down to the loser's bracket and will have to fight their way out of it.
Yeah, there's some monsters waiting in the loser's bracket too.
There sure are. There were a lot of good players, not enough to fit in the winner's bracket at this stage in the tournament, so there's some excellent players all over.
So this match is going to mean a lot to both these players' chances at winning our Season 1 playoffs.
That's right. Well, I'm going to change the game here, and then we will start the matchup. All right, are you guys ready to go?
Yep.
Maybe.
It's ready.
Okay, we got a ready and a maybe, so that's good enough. I'm going to give you guys the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Alright, so it's best 2 out of 3 tonight of the 3 matches. The person who wins has got to win at least 2 out of those 3 matches. And first match here is Battletoads. These players have 30 minutes to get the best run, as good a run as they can get of Ice Caverns. This level and the other level that you're going to see tonight are, I think, one of the most technical levels in this run. I mean, there's a lot. It's hard to say that the most technical because there's a lot of stuff in this speed run. But I feel like overall this has a good mix of movement, dealing with enemies, and just learning a few things about the mechanics. This is an ice physics level, and we try to avoid those on SGL, just because it's a little bit annoying to do ice physics levels, and I don't really think we need the variety of gameplay that ice physics levels are designed to provide. Usually you throw in an ice physics level in the game after you've done a bunch of levels normally, and the players, getting used to the mechanics, and you want to switch it up.
It's different.
Right, but we don't really need that because we only play small pieces of the game at a time. But it just so happened that this is, I think, a good enough level for speedrunning that it trumps the fact that it's got ice physics.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff to optimize. We like to pick levels that have a pretty high skill ceiling, and I believe this one does. Not so much as the Terratubes level that you're going to see in Match 3. That one is through the roof, but this one is a good challenge.
Yeah, this is a fair challenge, and then the other one is unfair.
Is an unfair challenge, yes. I would agree with that.
I think the players would mostly agree too. There was a lot of discussion / bitching and complaining.
There's definitely a rule in SGL that the people who complain the most do the best, and that's almost always true. So both players, it started out Cars was doing most of the complaining, so I thought, oh man, this guy's gonna win. And then Air started in, so then I knew it was really gonna be a nice match, because if they're both taking it seriously enough that they're tearing their hair out about these goals, then I think that means they're really putting the effort in.
Yeah, well, Cards has been famous here during this tournament for, I kind of want to say just out-practicing his opponents. Even though we give you a week and there's just a small chunk of a game, the truth is, like, it's a long time before extra practice does not make a difference in your success at speedrunning. And it's definitely longer than a week. So if you put in the time, it gives you an edge, and it's kind of a huge part of speedrunning. Mm-hmm. Honestly, speedrunning is 99% persistence and just banging your head against it, keep going again and again. And so if that's something that someone does on the show, then that is absolutely part of speedrunning. And I think Air knew that going in, so Air specifically tried to make time every day after work to try to keep up with him, and I think he did a pretty good job, and I think we're going to get a really great match out of these two.
Except I can't remember how to do the first 5 seconds of this level.
Yeah, there's a lot. So these ice blocks, what is the deal with these ice walls? They take like varying numbers of hits to break?
Correct.
Yeah, right.
So there's kind of an optimal way to use this ice block to hit them.
Yeah, that one you throw it and then kick it back. Another one you drop it into a little gap and let it bounce into it. But yeah, that's one of the challenges. There's some that you're supposed to throw snowballs at, but there's ways around it. They definitely meant when they designed this to interrupt the flow of gameplay, to have you solve like a little puzzle. Hit this thing to advance to the next section. You'll see that theme also in Terratubes. There'll be little sections where a gear spawns and you go through a little mini portion of the level, and then a barrier breaks and you move on to the next part.
Yeah, but except like in most games, the puzzle is not a timed element that will destroy you if it catches up. But this is Battletoads, one of the most infamously hard games on the NES. Mm-hmm. So this block can hit you and deal damage to you, and the gears and Terratubes will straight up kill you.
Yeah, I think that Battletoads deserves its reputation for being a very hard game, but I don't think that it is. After seeing some of the games that TMR has gotten through and just seeing some of the games that people speedrun, I think you could probably find much harder games than Battletoads, but it still is a very difficult thing. I don't know what is about it. It's not that the controls are bad, it's just that they're weird and every level's a little different, and there's just all these strange things about the mechanics that you have to know to be able to do well.
There's something fundamental about the gameplay that you kind of need to relearn and adjust to on every stage.
Yeah. And this is a very ambitious game. Like, they were trying to cram in as many concepts into a platformer / beat 'em up / shoot 'em up as they could. You can tell just by watching the first stage, where you come in on like these like ropes coming down from a helicopter. Then you have some fighting levels. There's fighting parts of the level. Then they have vehicles. Then you get on a dragon and fly it around. You know. Then you fight a boss from a first-person perspective, or from the boss's eye perspective. Second perspective.
One of only two examples in video gaming that I can think of.
Exactly, a very weird perspective on that. And then you jump down a hole, and then there's a repelling level where you're going downward, and then you get to a speeder level where it's all like QuickTime event kind of things.
The one that destroyed everyone as a child.
Exactly, and all that happens within like 2 minutes worth of gameplay. It's just crazy. You could tell that when they were whiteboarding this thing, there was just, you know, ideas all over the thing, and they decided they weren't going to compromise. They were just going to implement all of it. So Battletoads, they implement a lot of things that only get used in one place. So you could probably make 2 or 3 games out of this, you know, before the mechanics started to get tired.
You could make entire games out of like the Klinger Winger level, probably. I don't think I've ever seen a mechanic like that in a game, really.
Yep.
Other than this one. And in this one, it's just one level of 14 or something. And yeah, they throw all those things at you early on, and they kind of don't stop. You think that they would make that big splash at the beginning, hook the player in, and then, you know, they're okay. But they don't stop.
Right. So the theory I heard about stuff like the turbo tunnels being a wall that people run into and just can't get past is that a lot of game manufacturers were concerned about the rental market and thought that if players beat more than a certain percentage of the game, that they weren't going to buy it.
Oh.
And
obvious.
Yeah, and this was apparently this directive was made explicit to the designers of a bunch of the Disney franchise games, from what I've read. But it seems like pretty much all the manufacturers were clued into this idea that you can't let people get too far. So you need to add some. You need to add something pretty tricky about, you know, 2 levels into the thing.
Yeah, because there was definitely, as a kid, there was an element of mystery as to what the hell comes after turbo tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know as a kid.
Right, that was the rental stopper right there.
Yeah, and back then, guess what? The internet wasn't a thing. So you either subscribed to Nintendo Power, or you just legit never found out what the rest of these games were like unless you could get there yourself.
Yeah, I remember Nintendo Power.
I could do it.
What's that?
Yeah, or had an older brother or something.
Yeah, you have to have an older brother to do it. But yeah, I remember the Nintendo Power spread on this had a map of turbo tunnels, and they had to break it down into many different rows just because there's so much physical space to it because it goes by so quickly. So the map is this tiny ribbon of all these little like barrier, you know, wall, barrier, jump, barrier, ramp. It's just really silly, and I can't imagine someone like actually using that map in real time or anything. I was kind of wondering why they bothered. Just out of curiosity, so you could tell what the rest of the level looks like. I know.
So we've seen a couple runs get pretty far here.
Yeah, but this is a brutal run. It's claimed a lot of victims.
I choked away at 155.
Yeah, I saw that with that last jump. We should mention that to run in this game, it's a double tap to dash situation, which I know I hate, and I'm probably not alone.
Right.
Here.
Pretty common in NES games, though, because you only have 2 face buttons to work with if you don't want to make people start using the start and select.
Yeah, or hold down attack or something. Or be like some really horrible games and have hold jump to run. Oh, man. I don't know who thought that was okay ever. Probably a guy in a suit. There were probably 5 nerds who were like, dude, that's not fun at all. That's not okay. And a guy in a suit said, do it. So Cards with a 157. He's on the board. He knows he can do better. Not by too much, though. So Error needs to come up with something pretty solid to catch up here. And he is on his way. I don't think it's going to be quite 157.
That's not nearly good enough.
2 minutes. It seems like both players are hoping for a 154. That's kind of where their PBs topped out, I think. And so that's the dream, is to reproduce a 154. So I think both of them have a good idea of where they lost their time and where they need to to get it right next time.
Cool.
So-
With 2 runs up on the board already. And that is a good time for me to introduce our third man in the call, Arcano, our official timing referee. He's the person who gets all of these runs that the players submit, and he plays them back in the emulator and times them, gives us the exact timing down to the frame, so there is no dispute about what each player's time is.
Really? Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Arcano, for doing that. It makes SGL run smoothly.
Always a joy to pop on here and these runs.
Well, so Ark is working on those right now, and in just a moment we'll have them posted up here on the board. So let's actually show the board. So far nothing on it, but in a moment we'll get those runs timed, and we can even set up some comparison videos to see how these guys are doing compared to the first place run. Currently 17.5 minutes left on the clock, so we're only a little over a third of the way into the match.
I hope this might be a good time to switch to Battletoads music if you got it.
We got it. It's going.
All right, good. Good.
Boom.
I won't mention what brainwave this served up
Okay.
for my ears. This has really good music.
That's true. The faux parallax scrolling, I wasn't even noticing it until that was pointed out. But yeah, if you look in the background. And that is a really interesting fact, that it's using both vertical and horizontal faux parallax scrolling. Pretty advanced stuff. Rare really like to do things differently. That's
Yeah.
I mean, this
they
is
have
this is
their
a
own
Rare
way.
game. If you don't know, Rare is a manufacturer of a lot of really unique games.
Yeah, not just Donkey Kong over and over.
Right. But a
Back
whole
in the
lot of
day,
games
they
that
used to-
were just completely different from every other game that was being made. A lot of people really fond of Rare for that reason. I know I am.
Yeah.
And this is just one of their masterpieces. I mean, even if you hate the game, you got to at least appreciate that they did a lot. They tried to do a lot, and they, I think, at least got a playable game out of it.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty cynical opinions. The one I'm really thinking of is Jeff Gersman, Giant Bomb. He always viewed the Battletoads as like just part of a promotional machine. Like I think there's actually a clip of a Rare developer out there who said, "Oh well, Ninja Turtles was really really popular and they were selling a lot of toys, so we wanted to create something that we could use to sell merchandise." He just straight up says it to the camera. Well, that's why we made this game. So there is this kind of like,
Well, there doesn't have to be just one reason. I mean, they're not. That's not a wrong opinion. I mean, Ninja Turtles was popular, and you obviously can't make a Ninja Turtles game if you don't have the license for it. But in a way, you could look at this as a parody of Ninja Turtles. You know, not necessarily trying to rip it off, but trying to poke fun at it.
yeah, it does have its own sense of humor. Like it's kind of trying to be. I can't tell if it's trying to be funny and cute or if it's trying to be legit, like extreme rad. I'm not sure. I mean, this was the 90s.
I think it's supposed to be over the top, but you never know. But anyway,
Yeah.
meanwhile, Cards of the Heart actually knocks 2 seconds off of his PB, just as we get the times updated on the board. Oh, and it looks like Ark has also got the 155 set, too.
Yep.
Well,
Once
time
you get used to it, you start to get through these things faster. As someone who
timing
subs in.
games- Timing games is a really interesting task because every game is different. In one where we set the end point, like we'll have some where we ended on fade out, and those are pretty easy to time. Then there's others like this one which are kind of awkward to time because our end goal or end point for this one is when I believe this one is. Remember?
I think it's when the toad leaves the screen, but I could be wrong.
So
Yes.
it's when the toad leaves the screen.
Which is interesting because in Terratubes, there's 2 ways you could leave the screen, either by dying or walking off
Oh right.
at the end. But either way, whatever works.
So for some goals, it takes a little while to get used to when you need to slow down in your frame advancing, and others it's really quick. And this one is actually a pretty quick one, even though it's a little bit awkward.
Yeah, probably the worst is where it just sits still for some number of seconds, and then immediately the trigger you're looking for happens. I try to pick the goals to make it somewhat easier for the players to split at them accurately, with almost no regard, unfortunately, for the poor sap who has to time the run.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
There was one goal. I can't remember which game it was, but the timing end was 3 frames after they landed on the platform. So that one was really interesting to time.
Yeah.
Because you can really easily just go flying right past it.
Well, we got some comparison videos up right here. Both players are being synced up with the best run that we've gotten so far, which is Cards of the Hearts 155. And we got 12.5 minutes left on the clock.
Oh, one of the few times I actually get a dash jump at the start of this stage, and I can't take advantage of it. There we go.
That's right. There's probably not one or two things that kind of went wrong and cost the time that these players are hoping to save. It's definitely one of those situations where it could be little bits added up all over the place, and with the double tap the dash mechanic, that certainly
definitely
is a factor.
Every time you double dash, you're losing frames potentially. Also, this is a very not straightforward level. You don't just go one direction and hit jump at the right times. This is pretty much the opposite of the kind of platformers that are easy to optimize. Lots of direction changes all over the place. We love that for SGL. I love horizontal and vertical sections combined together in places where the direction changes, because that means there's time to be saved all over the place. There's also a lot of handling of objects, like dealing with these ice blocks, dealing with snowballs, dealing with these moving platforms. Lots of little things.
I'm still salty I threw away that 155 by just jumping into the spikes.
Ouch.
Yeah, I jumped into him.
Yeah, you get all the way to the end of that last part, and then you kind of jump into something. I'm a little unclear what's happening, but you jump and
You're
then
trying to get enough height to despawn something. You're trying to despawn
that's what it is. You're not supposed to do that. That's just okay. Yeah, there's a wall at the bottom that you're despawning. I thought maybe you were hitting some trigger and that was blowing it up, but it looks like you're
Technically,
actually
I did hit a trigger.
you hit a trigger to do something else. But yeah, you basically just need to get some height and then get back to that exit. And you got the height, but on the way down, you just snagged one of these little puffer spike things.
Mm-hmm.
Battletoads is a really interesting game in that sense, because it has a whole bunch of triggers in very strange places, and they all have a very awkward way to activate them. Like in a lot of these places in this level, there's a wall they need to get past, and in order to do that, either they need to use one of the ice blocks to destroy it, or destroy a snowman and throw snowballs at it, or even have a snowman throw snowballs at it. There's a lot of interesting ways to deal with the level.
I know I died there, but I was trying to cut corners because I was behind. Still cards this time.
That's one of the biggest benefits of practicing, actually, is that during the race, you have a really good sense of what you need to do to beat a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually added a second split because I found a place to do it.
Yeah, I had trouble finding spots to split in these goals because it's really just a single level and all of it continuous. But where are you splitting for the first one?
The one up, because you have to wait anyway.
Ah, right, the waiting section. That's a good point. I didn't notice, but are either of you guys doing the thing where you land on the moving platform, duck under the spike, and then jump on the other side?
I tried that a lot, and I could never get consistent at it.
It's pretty hard. I can't do that consistently either. I was wondering if anyone was going to do that. I'll see if I can point it out. I always miss it when you guys go by it. I'll see if I can point it out to you guys in the audience who aren't familiar with what I'm talking about.
It's really tight timing,
course.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is very tight timing. I've done it with save states, but it's not the kind of thing that I would do in a run.
It would certainly make a difference here, though, because I think it would save somewhere around 3 seconds or so.
Yeah, pretty significant given the time frames that we're looking at.
Of course, I like dying because Toad won't headbutt off of a sloping surface.
Yeah, there's a bit of, I think it's kind of RNG whether or not the headbutt behaves the way you want it to or not.
It's whether
Someone-
the Toad is actually touching the ground or not when you do it. Otherwise, you just hang in place and it's hard to recover
that's it.
from. At least that's what it looks like to me. I don't know whether that's the actual truth of it or not.
But yeah, Blecky points out in chat that I believe Cards of the Heart started doing this show because he was really good at puzzle games. He's got a couple world records, and I'm thinking Tetris Attack and probably a couple other things. But
Yeah, if it has anything to do with Panel de Pon or Tetris Attack, I basically have spent a lot of time running it.
yeah, but he wanted to do platformers. He was like, there's a lot of those games compared to puzzle games, and I want to get into them. So he said, I'll do this show and try to get better at them. And I think he's pretty much made his way through the winner's bracket here, just kind of beating some really stiff competition at platformers. So he's had a bit of a journey that's brought him this far, and we'll see where it takes him.
How much time's left?
7 minutes. This is sort of the crunch time here. At about 7 minutes, I would say. Somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes is when players maybe need to start thinking about changing their strategy if they're not getting
Nice
runs.
job phasing the ice cube through the barrier without breaking it.
Nice.
Oh, look, there it goes. He just headbutted it right through that barrier. There's a reset.
I'm just choking.
Yeah, I think if those hitboxes are still interacting with each other, then when you headbutt the ice cube, it doesn't detect the barrier hit and just goes right through it. It's like the barrier detection's only on the left side or something, or only on one side. I don't know entirely how that works. Whatever. Forky, please. I've had to wean myself off of Puzzle League because it's very much RNG, and it gets a little frustrating to grind RNG after a while. But I think grinding out those Puzzle League games has helped me with my persistence, if nothing else.
Please, could you check Skype?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I'll get that.
Oh god. Okay.
This vertical section with these slanted platforms is a spot where you can save a lot of time doing it just right, but it's really tricky, especially with the snowball that comes down early on. There has a bit of a fall with the ice block there, but due to the way it kind of kept moving while he was on the ground, it was okay to keep going, but then the headbutt doesn't pan out there.
I was getting that a lot more consistently into practice. The ice block thing, not the...
There's a couple of spots where it looks like you can finesse the ice block, like you do a headbutt, but like you just kind of tap it with the tip of your head rather than get right up in it, and that lets you recover in time to do something with it before it comes back and hits you.
This is my one shot.
Oh, really?
Looks like
God
Error's
dang it!
He's on pace. Oh, what's gonna happen here?
And the ice block is lethal.
Ooh, ice block ruined it. He was on
You
pace.
just yeah, you
very
just
even.
touch it.
It's because I didn't dash immediately, so the timing was off.
Shoot, shoot, get up there.
So you'll see these guys punching when they're on a slope, and that just keeps your character's location fixed. You'll maybe see that a bit more in the next goal that we do of this, but punching sort of holds you in place.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this game has the best controls in the world, but punching in place definitely offers a little bit of stability in that regard.
Yeah, there's a bit of jank to it, I guess. Sort of. Part of the problem is whenever you jump, your legs go way out to the sides, but your hitbox doesn't necessarily extend that far, so it's kind of unclear where your hitbox is whenever you're jumping. And even when you're running, you do kind of stretch out a little bit. You'll definitely see some examples of some dodgy hitboxes.
God,
Cards
I
gets
didn't
one
mess up
finish.
that. I didn't mess up that spot in practice at
Oh.
all.
Man, Error loses a run that was pretty much tied with Cards' run. And Cards lost his run. Or no, he completed a run, but it turned out not to be faster than his PP. A minute and a half left.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you get to the end and like you know you're not going to have many runs get this far. So even though if you think like, you know, I'm probably not on pace to beat it, like I'm probably going to tie it, there's a part of you that really just wants to play it out and see, because you're not going to get a chance to see
Right.
very many runs. So he goes ahead and plays out the last section there, and sure enough, he is about half a second behind. We'll see if that precious 30 seconds or so comes back to haunt him if Air beats his time, or he's going to be
No,
okay.
I already missed my chance on the second run when I died to the spikes.
You got a chance right now. I'm looking at it. And even though there's about 15 seconds before there are no more chances, there's still that chance as well. So now this is where that practice pays off. He's only about a minute into the goal. Well, no, he died. Of course.
Of course, as we said that. Well, it's a good time for that because the time is run out, so this is your last chance to reset. Last call, guys. And
I was
that's
gonna
it.
say.
No more resets past right now.
I was gonna say that's when you have an idea of if you're on pace to beat the time or not. So you know, like, oh no, this is a run that's worth to sticking with, and if I do it right, I can beat this time. Or you might know ahead of time that, you know what, probably not gonna do it. Probably better to reset. But the death forces his hand, so he's on one last run here.
Cards
Not
is
the
out.
smoothest
Oh,
with this
no.
ice block.
Oh, he's still going? Nope, air's
No,
done.
Not gonna play it out. That is the end of our first match.
Wow. That was an intense one. Wow. Man.
I don't think either player really got the run they wanted.
I just wanted something sub 157, so I guess this is okay.
I mean, of course, the players want to win there, but they were pushing each other really hard. So I was kind of curious to see how things would turn out.
Well, that's it for match 1 here. Cards with Heart takes first place here. He wins it with a 155.6. And Error gets a basically 2 minutes flat. 2 minutes, 0.13. I saw a bunch of runs from Error that were pretty much on pace with Cards with the Heart through more than half of the goal, but then things fell apart.
Yeah.
I feel like if we had another half an hour for these players to work on it, we would see both of them
Could have been
with times
totally
in the
different.
low 150s.
Yep. Just one of those things where it has to come together in that 30 minutes. But it is not over yet. This is a best of 3. So Error is playing Mario 3 here to stay in the winner's bracket of this tournament. That's the mindset he's got going in. Give the players a moment to readjust to Mario 3. Just a reminder that they've only had 1 hour to practice Mario 3 here. So even an extra minute or 2 at the start is going to go a long way towards some lower times and some higher consistency here.
We'll see if my mic still works.
It does. You were silent for a while, so I think something happened, but it's not happening anymore.
Just me not being very happy. Just, that's all.
I could imagine. I actually wasn't sure if you were choosing to be quiet on purpose. I know. I think it's like episode 24 or something. I'm playing Castlevania 3, and I find out Canonophone has got a time that's faster than my PB, which I thought was pretty much perfect. So I was like, I can't beat that time. I just know I can't beat that time. And I know Dragon Dark's ahead by like 4 seconds, and I know I can get 4 seconds if I pull it off. But like these mermen are trolling me, and yeah, so I just go completely silent for the rest of the episode while I put my serious face on for a little bit and try to make it happen.
Of course, that was better than I did the entire hour of practice. You know, just like how my last run of Battletoads practice was a 154.
Yeah,
Right.
we saw that. We did see that. It's just a question of which 30 minutes you take to determine the winner. That could change everything, really. But the 30 minutes happened to be the 30 minutes that they were.
Well, I think it's about time to get this one going.
Yeah, put that last match in the past.
Yep, let's put it behind us. Still anyone's game right now. Both players ready to get this thing underway?
Yep, there's a statue. He's putting out some flames.
Look at that
He's ready to
statue.
go.
Wow.
Oh, the flames camp you out. That's cheap. Alright.
Okay then. Here comes the countdown, guys. 3, 2, 1, go.
Super Mario Brothers 3. We could probably talk about this game for 30 minutes and not say anything about what the players are going on.
Probably not. Oh, loud. There we go. Got some Mario 3 music for us to listen to while we're doing this.
Nice.
Yeah, so the goal here is they're going to beat stages 4-1, 4-2, and 4-3. This is Giant World, 4th world of the game. It's pretty interesting. It's got a lot of good platforming levels, just pure platforming, no weird stuff, which is why I like it for this goal. We have to find 3 stages in a row that have no weird stuff, which is actually surprisingly tricky in Mario 3, depending on what your definition of weird stuff is. But this was, starting from the beginning of the game, this was the first spot I could find that wasn't along the any percent route, but also had 3 really solid stages in a row.
Oh, wow. Error dips into the water but manages to keep his P-speed going into the pipe. That's
Yeah, the P-speed's
help,
got some
though.
leeway on it.
um
I like that there's an actual physical P-speed meter, unlike Super Mario World, where it's
Yeah.
implied. It's there and very important, you just can't see it.
this is the only Mario game I think where they've surfaced that. Even though it's there for most Mario games.
Really?
Past this one. Yeah, P-Speed, man, what a complicated thing to master, and it's everything in a speedrun.
Absolutely. It's how to get it in places where it doesn't look like you've got enough room to get it, and how to keep it in places where it looks like you need to slow down.
Right. So most players seem to be using this turtle shell and this waterfall to get their P-Speed early on in this first level. But using it cleanly afterwards with these 3 blocks that are in the way and this mushroom that comes down is super, super hard. We saw players... when they first started practicing, they're like, all right, Mario 3, and they jump in and they look at the video and they're like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And they're like, he's making this look
really?
very easy compared to how hard it is to get through this obstacle course with P-Speed. So everyone right away got a taste of what Mario 3 can be like to speedrun.
Oh, there it is.
Mario 3 is... It's an easy game to watch and say, oh yeah, that looks simple, I can do that. And then once you try it, it's one of the most difficult things to do. Just keeping that P-Speed in all those various situations where it just seems like you need to slow down, but really you can just do small adjustments to make sure that you can get through those areas.
Yep. We just saw cards there clipped a corner of the pipe, and that's usually bad, but it helped him land on the pipes in the waterfall, which let him jump off of the pipes to get over the 3 blocks, and that let him keep P-Speed going on. So like, that's the kind of thing where running into a wall can actually be faster than not. That's the kind of situation that this P-Speed mechanic creates.
Get up there. Okay.
One fancy trick you can do with P-Speed is jumping as soon as you come out of a pipe with P-Speed, and you can maintain your P-Speed and let it carry you through for, I don't know, maybe like a half a second at the end of the level. There's a couple spots where it makes a huge difference, but that's not really in this goal.
I approve of that joke in the chat.
For anyone watching the VOD, too bad.
Too bad
We're
you
gonna
missed
cheat
out.
that as chat exclusive jokes.
Get re-chat.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the thing. I was pretty interested in that when I found out it's a thing. So no one's finished a run here, but we've seen a couple of runs get to the 3rd stage here.
Got a synchronized restart between these players. Oh no, it just looked like it. Never mind. We still got error at the 3rd level of his run here.
Yep, there's a couple of jumps that are really easy, and then about halfway through this underground section, it suddenly becomes very, very, very hard to keep P-Speed without getting hit.
Right, doing this without losing P-Speed through the whole thing, very tricky. I think that's probably one of my favorite levels in this world, to see speedrun properly.
But he takes 1 hit and plays it a little safe on these platforms at the end, which are perfectly spaced out such that any way you try to do full jumps off of anything to anything else, you're probably going to end up in a pit. So you have to change up something there, but he plays it safe, does a little left-right turnaround kind of thing, gets through with a 134, so he's on the board, putting pressure on Cards of the Heart, who has just got 3-star cards.
My
You
goodness.
got 5 lives. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle. Time is ticking away. You can't do anything about it.
Keep trying to navigate to the music box and end up picking the whistle.
The warp whistle, nice.
Oh,
yes.
warp whistle. Oh, that sucks.
We did give players some music boxes in case these Hammer Brothers decide to troll them. The
And it
Hammer
will be a
Brother
little bit of a
improvement.
time lost to go in there and use it, but still not the end of the world.
Probably not game breaking, yeah. And it's certainly better than just resetting. Or fighting them, I guess. But actually, I don't know what they drop. Maybe if they
Oh, that's a good question. I forget what these ones drop, but
drop some music box.
I mean, if it was a cloud, maybe that's like the only thing I could think of
The
that
cloud,
you actually
wow.
want.
Yeah. There are some things that might be a little helpful, but not worth the time.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I think one of the biggest things that doesn't really come across when you're watching a Mario speedrun is B to attack and B to run. You'd think, duh, I've played Mario, I know that. But when it comes to speedrunning, when you're doing all these precision jumps with the A button, the last thing you want to do is have to manipulate the B button in some way as well. If you're the kind of person who plays with a thumb, that can quickly become very uncomfortable and very imprecise. So working with this Fire Flower early on and in the second level, while running and jumping, is actually very tricky.
I think only now I'm finally figuring out how to not get the star card every time.
That's a good question, Jagger G. I don't know how long the music box does last. They can't use anything right at the start because the save state begins them already entering 4-1. But they could use it... yeah, I don't know if they could use it after 4-1 to have it apply to the next transition after 4-2.
Error just lost a run keeping P-Speed through the end of stage 1, which I don't think I've seen anyone do yet. So that would have been a really big
I was going too
bonus.
fast!
Yeah, too fast.
Hey, now I finally remembered to use the music box instead of the whistle.
There you go.
All right, we got a live run into stage 3 for Cards of the Heart.
Sure do, and looks like he's tied exactly with Error. We got comparison videos up. Both runners are being compared against Error's 134.
Ugh.
Oh, dies from the spiny.
Error's getting pretty good at manipulating this P-Speed in the first level here. I think if we gave these players like another hour or two, we'd be seeing a completely different route.
That's right. 1 hour is a difficult. It's a difficult ask here. 1 hour to do 3 levels. You're not even close to the point where you're comfortable with all 3 levels in that amount of time.
I feel like my 4-3 was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a way to do the last few jumps smoothly without
P-Speed,
stopping. Yeah. But only taking one hit and not really stopping, I mean, it's a little bit of hesitations to make some jumps, but no real stoppage is pretty smooth. Cards with Heart's gonna take a run at it here. Doesn't lose it on that first set of enemies. So there's a bit of hesitation there, a bit of bumping up against that bouncy block. But his goal is a 134, and it's looking like a 134. So we're gonna have Arcano get on that and let us know who's in the lead. Both players are gonna want that information, as it's gonna change the way they make their decisions here.
That sure is. All right, so we'll know the exact time in a moment. In the meantime, we'll continue to compare against Error's 134.
Oh man, someone made an 8-bit remix of the...
Oh, okay, that's gonna be interesting.
We're listening to Mario 3 music now.
Nah, well, too bad. I'm listening to even better music. Alright, I want to know
what's going on here.
Hiya, Mikey.
Actually, no, that's not gonna work.
There it is. Error. Oh, he loses the firepower. But he is going to have the best split on level 1 he's ever had here.
I really like Fire Flower for stage 2, though.
It's
See if I
really
can-
good for stage 2, and it's nice to have an extra hit in stage 3. But yeah, he's I don't think he's done that before, so he has no idea what the timing is like on using the fireball on that last turtle.
Well, speaking of timing, the verdict is in on Cards of the Heart's run. It is slower than Error's run
Oh man.
by 0.5 seconds.
We do
0.55
not have
seconds.
a change of leader. Either way, both players are on edge now.
What am I doing?
I mean, sometimes I say that, but then again, sometimes players are just like, I kind of know what I want to do, and I'm just focusing on doing that, and you know.
Yep.
I saw something Cards did in 4-3 that was a lot better than what I did, but whether I can actually replicate
He did
it
get through the buzzy beetles without getting hit. Those two.
with the P-speed, which I didn't.
When I saw him on that part, I was expecting him the way everyone else would approach that section so far. It was just run in and take a hit, and then use the invincibility as best you can on the other stuff coming up. And so when I saw him squeeze through there with that, oh here we go, Error with the P-speed, slows down, gets the turtle.
No! Star? I don't want a star!
All right, that's okay. Salvage it to the next level. But
That's
yeah, he
scary!
Cards is working on getting P-speed through the end of 4-1 as well.
I didn't get P-speed here. It's okay.
Make sure you don't get that star.
I didn't slow down enough.
Oh no! Oh.
Oh, there it is. That's the card star.
Dun, 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 dun.
I thought I was okay. I'm pretty good at not getting the star there.
It looked good. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a frame or two off. So Card's got this sacrifice the fire flower in 4-2 to get very consistent P speed on the second half there. He's looking at some green numbers heading into this last level here.
3 different cards, or 3 of not the same cards. One different card. That's the important part.
Takes the bump. Oh, does not catch the slanted slope there. Just slips off. How many SL words can I add in there?
No.
But there he is with P-speed through most of 4-1 there. So he's getting the hang of that. But like Error, he's running to the thing where he doesn't know how to use it afterwards. The timing on the fireballs, and even a couple spots where you can do a little left-right, slow down just a little bit, get the fireball ahead of you. But when you don't practice it at all, it doesn't come to you on the spot. So we're seeing a bit of that, but he's working it out, and so I think we're going to see him be able to start taking advantage of that when it happens, the way Error is.
Yeah, really good 4-1 from Error there. That looked really smooth. So remember, so far Error has 1 loss, Cards has 1 win. So it is the burden right here of winning is on Error. He's got to win both of the next 2 matches, or else he's done for.
Oh, it gets the P-speed keep out of the pipe. Just a fun little finesse there, heading in with some solid green numbers on this last level here. And he's got some ideas about what he wants to do. It's really hard to put stuff like that into practice on the fly, though. So there it is, a little bit of slop there.
But he gets through it. Let's see what the final time is.
It is an improvement. So he keeps his time savings
That's right.
enough
okay.
to make a difference, but Cards is right behind him with a similar looking green split here.
Alright, so he takes almost a second off his PB, but it looks like he lost 1.5 seconds in that level. So we know where to look for improvement. Oh, Cards goes off the slanted slope.
Yeah, I did not get a lot of good practice around those slopes.
I'm really liking the way players are getting used to maintaining P-speed, though.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do that for?
Cards, the master of the delay and get the star anyway.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
There's the update. Error's time was a 133.29. That's the new first place time.
Really?
The Cards is starting to figure out 4-1 there.
Oh, I don't have B speed. Why don't I have B speed? That's like the easiest section to get B speed.
That's exactly the sort of thing I was talking about. Especially when you're just learning this game the way these players are. If you find yourself in a spot where you normally have P speed and suddenly you don't, everything is different. You're the way the where enemies are going to be, because you're moving slower, they've had more time to move, so they're going to be in different spots. You're going to be in different spots. There are certain jumps you can no longer make. Everything is just different. And this is a pretty fast moving game, so even if you don't have P speed, you have to make some decisions really quickly. And more often than not, you'll see a player end up in a pit when they're just not familiar with what to do.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. This is very fun. We got two really good games, and both of these players are just on the top of their games. They're both doing so well in Battletoads and this. Both of them are getting good runs. I mean, this is as good as SGL gets, guys.
Oh, no. Oh, really?
So
Even
Cards had
precision
some
jump
green
saved my
numbers. He got hung up a little bit on the first part, so he knew I had to go through the rest of this stage cleanly. So he just went for it on the last couple jumps. And just missed the top of those blocks. Now he's discovered that if you hit that turtle at the very end of it, you don't necessarily get the jump off of the other one. Air's already figured that out. He's got some left-right turnarounds to deal with that kind of thing. Really solid on 4-1 now.
Listening to all the sped up versions of the Mario 3 musics. We're at that part of the soundtrack where it's all the... Yeah. Which, it just occurred to me we should use that sound, the time is running low sound, for our sudden death mode, right?
Yeah, Nintendo has no problem when you use their copyrighted materials, right? They don't care about that stuff at all. All we have to do is get someone to play it for us on a piano or something and record that.
Right. But not so accurately that it gets picked up by the
not too
the DRM automatically.
It's okay to just a little timing and make it your own. Meanwhile, in Rainwave, we have 8-bit Moonlight Sonata.
Oh, that plays sometimes. We've had that on the show a bunch. It just shows up. But we're listening to something much peppier than that.
Yeah.
We'll be back to Rainwave soon. I think we're running out of Mario
you're
music.
definitely better off hanging out there for now. Cards again. I bet he's probably thinking, like, maybe I should just hold on, drop a save state at that last section of that level, and
I
just
just
kind of
might.
figure it out.
I'm highly considering it.
Well, 8.5 minutes. That's
I've
enough
seen him
time
lose
that you
about
could spend a
5
few.
runs. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's
Important to know how much time is left, for sure. But
Yeah,
I've seen him lose
let's
about
do
5
that.
runs on that one section of the stage, just because he just seems like he just doesn't know what to do. What is even the game plan, really? Ooh, cards, or error rather. Did some pretty bold fire flower maneuvers to give himself enough room for P speed.
And then
But,
took a bath at the end.
Yeah. So it looks like he is indeed gonna pop out, load up a save state, and figure out what he wants to do. So this is not gonna count towards attempts. You know, even if he finishes here, it's not a completed run or anything. But you are allowed to use this 30 minutes however you want, really. So if you think the best thing to do is to take a moment and figure some things out before you get back into attempts, you are absolutely free to do that. So there it is. He's got a save state, and he's like, I'm going to jump here, here, here. And that's the game plan. And then he's going to use that to keep going.
Oh yeah, you can make that. Look at that. That's a good strat. It'll probably be
3
even
jumps.
easier in the run because you won't have the save state set
So close, yeah.
so close to the action.
That first jump is different if you're not Small Mario, though.
Yep.
You do have less room for that.
But in this one, you go. Wait, in this one, do you go directly into Small Mario from Fire
do
Flower?
not.
You don't. You go through Big Mario first.
I think cards typically uses the Fire Flower as a damage boost sort of situation
Yep.
to get P speed in 4-2, so should be easy enough to get yourself hit and make sure you're Small Mario there. Error's got to run here with pretty close numbers. So he did lose a bunch of time here last time. So if he can save that time that he lost last time, he's going to be looking at a PB here.
Oh, apparently you can duck jump if you're Big Mario.
You can, yes. It is another complication, but it is something you can do. I think he's going to come up with a bit of an improvement here, about a second. About a second. Still some room to do that last section cleanly. That it looks like Cards is finished practicing, so going forward, it looks like Cards is going to have an advantage at the end of 4-3 there. But I don't think he's quite gotten the hang of 4-1 the way Error has. So this could turn out to be even closer than it already is.
Does the Japanese version treat that differently? I didn't think that it did, but I don't know.
I know it varies Mario to Mario.
Right.
And it also varies, like, if you hit a block and make a flower appear, and then you get hit down to small,
Right.
if you pick up the flower, do you go right to fire, or do you just become big? Like, that changes per game.
Really?
Well, Air's 132.5 is up on the board now. Bit of an improvement to his previous one. We'll have those comparison videos updated for you in just a second.
Little over 4 minutes left. So it's really getting down to it. And both of these times are pretty good. Improvable, but pretty solid.
Way to
So
jump
Cards
over
is
the pipe.
starting to figure out 4-1 here, which was Error's big advantage. So assuming he can dodge the triple star, he's poised to put something on the board here.
Yeah, already saving over 3 seconds on that stage, which is more than he needs to catch up to Air.
Yeah, I think that's the first time he's ever managed to keep P-Speed all the way through those pipes at the end of the stage.
Sounds about right. Definitely play that really safe.
You don't want to beat me. We want to play Terror Tubes, right?
Well, you definitely can, even if
play
he
it either
does.
way, but yeah.
I might be mad if I lose because of how first goal was.
Now that's another thing. You don't want it, like, the scoreboards are going to show whatever, but they're not really going to show how close these matches were.
Oh no.
Card's not able to capitalize on that run, but he does have a much better idea of how he needs to tackle 4-1. So I'm not going to be surprised if he gets another run going with that 3-second green split there. No, it looks like he didn't quite figure out what exactly he did that last time. But he's definitely close.
I pretty much counted on winning both Battletoads goals anyway, so this is really not that big of a deal if the result stays like this.
The confidence.
Yeah, I can't believe anyone is that confident about their ability to do Terror Tubes.
He did have some really good PBs in Terror Tubes, but it's the kind of thing where
it's Terror Tubes, man. You got 30 minutes to
it's
make
only
something
30
happen,
minutes to do it right. So that's going to be the problem.
Card's not even satisfied with keeping P-speed, but then missing the pipe. He's going to reset and try to get a clean run that gets right into the pipe. He does need to come up with about 2.5 seconds here, so he's probably going to want as much of that 3-second lead he had on that other run as he can. Running over the pipe and then circling around to get back into it. Probably not enough. Air's trying to keep P-speed here. He manages to get it back. That's very key. So Air, once again, is going to have another shot at cleaning up his 4-3 a little bit.
All right, so Jagger in the chat is pointing out something interesting. It was talking about using the music box early, and if indeed that lets you, if indeed it lasts through several stages, you could save the time that you lose at random by the Hammer Brother moving. Because after you finish a level, if the Hammer Brother is going to move, everything stops, and then the Hammer Brother does his movement. Yeah. So if you can eliminate that, it might be worth using the music box ahead of time. Because it wastes time to use the music box. A little bit of time, but probably more time than you'd save by a long Hammer Brother movement.
So Air gets a clean 3-2 and follows up with about the same 3-3. So he has cut another second off.
There it is, 0.8 seconds according to the manual splits. We'll see exactly what that works out to be. But there's only 10 seconds left on the clock here, so not much time to make any decisions, really.
That said, Cards gets a run through 4-1 with P-speed into the pipe. So I bet he's going to keep going with this.
All right, well, it is last call, so now it's his chance to make that decision. Both players making that decision. And we're not going to have any more resets after right now.
It's in the water, but he does get P-speed.
Doesn't seem too happy about it. But
No, that's not going to happen. No.
No, now he lost P-speed for the rest of this level, so now it's all over.
One thing goes wrong, and it just dominoes. So Error comes out on top in Mario 3. He just seemed to get the hang of that P-speed faster. Got more comfortable with the left-right in midair to hesitate while still keeping the P-speed. And his better handling of that mechanic is gonna... It has, borne fruit here. He's got the win in the mystery match, tied it up 1-1, and it looks like Terra Tubes is gonna decide who moves on in the winner's bracket. But let's see if Error can do a victory lap here and come out with something even better on his last run here. It's definitely possible. Ah, there it is. That's a tough jump.
Oh, missed it.
But he did have to go for something cleaner than he did last time, so just going for it on a jump like that is probably the right call. But as we said, that is also just icing on the cake here. He has come away with the win. Cards is determined to get back into Battletoads right away.
All right, so far these players 1-1. Error with winning this Mario 3 match, and Cards winning the first Battletoads match. So that's good news for the viewers who want to see the closest matches we can have, which is what we've got today. It's always a little disappointing when it's the same person who wins twice, and then the third match doesn't really count for anything besides just score.
Yeah.
So this is cool. We got an actual third match here,
and we got some. This is another, because like I was saying before, Cards had a better 4-3 in that mystery goal, but Error had the better handling of 4-1, I think, and we're going to see that sort of disparity rather, in this goal as well. It seems Cards is better at fully utilizing this out of bounds technique at the start of the level. And it looks like Error has got a better job of some of these headbutts on these ducks that they're for some reason it's really tricky to pull off, but he seems to have got it down pretty good, whereas Cards kind of gave up on it a little bit. And
I've got my own way for dealing with them, but
right.
Error will definitely be faster than me on that.
So they've each got strengths and weaknesses here in different places. So that's going to be fun to see how it turns out while we get the numbers finalized behind the scenes. We'll give everyone a chance to get used to Battletoads. It's definitely a different playing game than Mario 3.
That's right. It's the catch-up to our chocolate chips.
Oh, yep.
No comment.
That's perfect. That is as solid as an analogy could ever be. But as everyone knows, every bowl of catch and chips is 2 parts ketchup, 1 part chips. So
that's right, and it's the second part of ketchup that really matters.
Yeah,
that's going to determine everything.
Yeah, it's the bottom half of the bottle the one where you got to kind of shake it real good so that you don't get that watery stuff on top.
Oh, the Piano Toads video? I'll look for it. I'll see if I can find it.
Lots of Cards do that out of bounds, and it makes me salty because I never even got close to that. I never succeeded at once. I never figured it out.
It does look like it goes pretty fast, doesn't it? So I think Error is going to be playing from behind here. The Cards is way more solid on that out of bounds than I thought he was. Like, I knew he could pull it off, but I didn't realize with what consistency. And so even though Error's got some things that he can do, they're probably not going to save as much time or be as consistent as going the full out of bounds at the beginning of the stage. It's quite a time savings. But there's a lot that can go wrong here, so it is definitely not over.
We haven't even started yet. And you're going, it's like, you're already burying me, Mythical.
I just said anything can happen. Chat calling for Koreshi's piano cover of Terratubes.
Let me see if I can find. I'll see if I can find that while these guys are getting ready here.
Ow. Okay.
That was a pretty sweet surprise, actually. I believe it was the second AGDQ. Koreshi opted to play the game audio on piano rather than actually using the game audio. And that was really awesome. And then I think he came back the next year and he did it for some Castlevania, but he took some creative liberties with some of his tunes. You may have heard some other video game jingles and stingers in there where they don't belong.
Oh.
It was good.
Let me see. I'm trying to find the spot now. Alright, you guys ready to go? Ready to start this goal?
Yep.
Alright, sounds good. I'm going to give you guys the countdown in 3, 2, 1, go.
No, it's a warp to -1 life.
So right off the bat, you've got something that probably doesn't make sense to you if you don't know about speedrunning Battletoads. First of all, if you hold A, you jump right at the start. Just cool thing. Normally that wouldn't help, but you can use it to get over this wall on the left and get out of bounds, and then from there you can do some fun things. Air uses it to do a small skip, but you're gonna see cards here go out of his way to swim up and around through all this junk and come out pretty far ahead here. Looks like it's about a 6-second lead that Air is going to have to make up. But that is far from the only thing that is hard about this goal. There's a bit of peace here with running around with these gears. I think there's one gear near the end that can actually be kind of a problem, but these other gears are not a big problem. What is a big problem are rubber ducks. I'm serious.
And fish.
Yes. He's not kidding.
Yeah.
And eels.
There's eels and sharks, and yeah, there's actually all kind of a bunch of things. But the ducks in particular will destroy you. They have 2 hits. One hit that is super fast and stuns you, and the other one that sends you flying and outright kills you. And they're really good at chaining those 2 things together. So there are some ways you can deal with them. Particularly, you can make use of a glitch to kind of have the game think you're not in a pipe for a little bit. Any of these adjoining sections where you see this pink section here, these rings going over the tubes. In those sections, you can kind of trick the game into letting you dash, and that also lets you do a headbutt, and that happens to take out the ducks very nicely. But it's a little tricky, and it seems like Cards never really got the hang of it. So Air is probably going to be doing that, and Cards is probably not. He's going to have to come up with some other way to deal with these ducks, and that's gonna slow him down a little bit, and it's also probably going to hurt his consistency, which is a big deal because there are some random elements in this stage that can cost, unfortunately, a lot of time. They're fish and eels and sharks, and they're a little unpredictable, and it's really easy for them to knock you into something that will kill you. So just being consistent and getting as many runs as you can through these random elements is going to be a big deal.
I only got 1 headbutt on the duck.
There it is, showing it off there. This fish that Air nicely avoided. He went up for him. If the fish does not go up, sometimes that gets pretty ugly. Oh, shark giving him some trouble, but it does not kill him. That is the important part. And then at the end of the stage, players will have to make a huge decision whether or not they want to skip this copter. It is possible to get all the way down this shaft here without using the copter. You just gotta swing left to right, make it happen. It's really hard, but it saves 7 seconds. So Air I think wisely, takes the copter down, gets a run on the board, putting a lot of pressure, I think, on Cards of the Heart, because just getting through this goal cleanly is very difficult. So already Cards has got some thinking to do, and now he can think about when he gets there, does he want to go ahead and go for this big copter skip? Both players decided to practice it, and both got pretty good at it, but it is right at the end, and it is quite hard. So
and pretty unforgiving if you miss it.
Yeah,
there are checkpoints.
You go all the way back.
Yeah, but they're
it's
not
pretty
nearby.
much a reset.
Yeah, most deaths in this stage are going to cost somewhere around 30 seconds because of how sparse the checkpoints are.
I think Error actually managed to die and only lose like 3 or 4 seconds.
I actually killed myself on purpose because I was low on health.
Yeah, I thought so.
And then when I get eaten by a shark, and the shark actually hit me twice.
Yes, he did. He took a real
almost
quick bite out of you.
He almost like stun locked me right there. And I would have been salty if I had died there.
Yeah, there's enough things that instantly kill you. You really don't need to be worrying about the things that don't usually instantly kill you. So a planned death there to refill his health, which definitely made all the difference in that run. There's a couple other little skips you can do, particularly with the hitboxes on these spikes in these swimming sections. They are not as dangerous as they appear. So they are
they're very dangerous.
They're instant
they
kill.
are as dangerous as they appear. Just
Now let's be real. Your sprite goes over those spikes when you swim through them. Like, you should be dead, but you can get through there without being dead.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the lower half of the spikes, I do believe it's the whole half. It may just be a quarter of them. They don't actually have a hitbox.
Yep. So you get
You
to
can go-
squeeze through a
yeah,
couple
you-
spots that you think you wouldn't be able to.
Right from
There's
the bottom.
one spot in particular where this saves significantly more time than the other ones, but it also just happens to be way, way more precise. Apparently pixel perfect. So I think both players messed around with it a little bit, and I don't think anyone's gonna bust it out unless they absolutely super have to. And I don't think we're gonna see runs that optimized within this 30 minutes, so you're probably not gonna see it. But there is one or two that are not as dangerous that Error sometimes goes for, and those are going to save a second or two combined. And considering he's got to make up about 6 seconds on Cards' improved out of bounds at the beginning of the stage, it's definitely something he might want to make use of. Actually, I think there's one he goes for. The second one is more doable than the last, but is not free. That's for certain. So I think he might start going for this first one once he gets some times on the boards that he's happy with. Gets one duck headbutt. That fish decides to go up, so he's not a problem right now, but when you come back around, the fish is going to be there. And he's got some insane knockback that sends you pretty much into spikes no matter what. So Air's making a decision, he's going for it, and he doesn't get it.
yeah. The stage wasn't clean, so I wasn't going to really save any time.
Right.
Going the safe route.
Yeah, it's good that it being at the end, you know exactly how much time it'll take you to take the copter down and how much time it'll take you to just go for it. So you can already tell if your run's not going to be good enough. Why not go for the copter skip?
MTI, please stop interrupting Mythical. I guess you have the MTI on commentary for the Piano Toads.
We did, yeah. When that was up, we had a little bit of MTI. He was one of the runners. I did the AGDQ one where he raced PJ. I think it was
Spot
Yeah,
the
we were talking about how speedrunning this game has it's been a long process that's evolved a lot over the time, and how I think MTI and PJ were some of the earliest names I can think of attached to this game, but eventually more came along, and the Mexican runner took it and really ran with it and made it his own.
And JC, yeah.
JC, I think, now is
Well, the two of
is
them
the guy
went
on
back and
top.
forth a
Whoa,
bunch.
we got a crash! Nice.
Boom! Oh man, I didn't
Stop
realize
block.
this game was
All right.
unstable.
Wow.
Wow, weird when you go out of bounds and start swimming around inside walls. Sometimes the game can't handle it, huh?
Yeah, so strange to see Battletoads crash because it's such a well-programmed game that doesn't have any glitches.
Yeah, if you want to find out the potential of shenanigans Battletoads is capable of, go check out some of PJ's videos of this game. In addition to speedrunning it, he's also gotten pretty good at breaking it in some entertaining ways. Unfortunately, that is going to force a reset for cards here, so it was early on, and it was entertaining. But
That's all the entertainment we need, though. Let's get back to
exactly.
successful runs. Oh, the
Apparently,
one
one time PJ beat the game by pressing start.
Yep. That's right. He had a 0-second speedrun of this once.
Man, normally when that kind of thing comes, like, it's everyone making a big deal out of nothing, right? And it's sort of like confirmation bias, and they're only looking at the examples of when PJ breaks something and all the times when everything goes right, and people make it into more of a thing that it seems. But I think, honestly, legit, there is something about PJ that honestly,
well, he's certainly looking for trouble. It's not just like these glitches.
Yeah, there's a bit of both.
Find him.
It's not like these things just happen to him all the time. He does go looking for trouble, that's certain. But man, is he ever good at finding it.
I don't know. Hopefully someone can find a link to the video of PJ breaking this game. There's some... I think you should be able to find a highlight of the 0-second speedrun of this. There's also... I think he did a stream where he was showing different ways of breaking the ice caverns as well, too. Hopefully somebody can find that highlight.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, where he would, like, pick up a stick.
Yeah, I just put that one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, thanks, Art.
Swimming in level 4 on a pig with a stick while carrying air. That's a pretty good one.
That's the fish. I love fish.
They're demonstrating the power of that orange fish there.
Whoa,
looks pretty harmless,
nice.
but it does hit you, you're probably dead.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
The knockback, man.
Yeah, I should have attacked it. It was a different pattern than I expected to see.
Alright, we got some comparison videos up here. Both of these players are having their runs synced up with errors 325. So far, the only run on the board.
I think I'm going to be disappointed if that is the only run that ends up on the board at the end of today, because I do think both players are capable of not only putting a time on the board, but putting some good times on the board. But I'm also not going to be terribly surprised if that happens, because this goal is definitely one of our more advanced goals, I will say.
Yes, yeah. I would feel bad giving this goal out to just a random group of players who weren't already at the cream of the crop as far as the SGL tournament goes.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a lot. Even for a week-long goal, this is very substantial. And
on top of that, there's just some trolley randomness enemies that are really hard to deal with. And you can deal with them kind of, so they're not completely at the mercy of RNG with some of these things, but they straight up, they hurt your consistency. They're gonna ruin a run or two, and that just means you need to have more runs, get to those random elements and get through them, and it's just more pressure to get everything right.
Yeah, having RNG in a goal is not necessarily bad. It's then becomes more of a test of how consistent you are. So just getting as many attempts as you can to get good RNG is a matter of being consistent with your strats. Jagger G asks a good question. If there was no out of bounds in this goal, would this still be... Would we still have used this stage as a goal? It's already kind of on the long side, so not doing this out of bounds right here at the start would mean this would be a very long goal. Probably
Yeah.
a little too long for
I think so.
SGL.
Doing
We
the
aim
out of bounds
for-
perfect is 15 seconds.
Over no out of bounds at all?
Yes.
Oh, I
Unless
thought
you're
it was
counting
more
the-
like a minute or something. Like there's a whole
Okay.
bunch.
unless you're counting, me going through spikes is also out of bounds, but
Yeah, and I think we just mean the out of bounds at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is long, and I don't think the gameplay that you. I think doing the out of bounds is more interesting and more technical than not. So there really isn't any reason to ask players not to do it. I think.
I actually find it easier than actually dealing with the enemies that are already
Yeah,
there.
there are
Right.
some tricky enemies that you can go right past.
Yeah.
By the way, they're also capable of one-shotting you if they blow up.
Nice.
yes.
Fun.
If you touch them without actually attacking them, they blow up and you die. And their lasers do 3 damage and stun you, in which usually they stun you and then they run into you and die.
Yeah. Or a second one shoots you, or God knows what.
So we talked about out of bounds, but we didn't actually mention how you get out of bounds, did we? It's
Well, I mentioned you get the free jump at the start,
Oh, okay, that's what it is. You did mention it then.
and then for some reason there's just no wall way up there.
And it happens to be swimmable.
Yeah. You can tell they made this level by dividing chunks up of it into you can swim here and you can't swim there, and they probably didn't care much about where those boundaries lied in these walls. So the water sections and the dry sections kind of bleed out into the walls in weird ways. You can definitely see it when Cards gets through the second part. There's a lot of transitions in and out of water all of a sudden. See players making good use of the punch to stay still. It helps a lot when you're waiting for this gear to pass so that you don't have to worry about drifting down into spikes or up into the gear.
Quite a bit of memorization in this level, just knowing which way you're going to be turning ahead so that you can prepare for it. Knowing that ahead of time.
Yeah, when you've got the camera as tight as it is here, and you've got the swimming levels where your momentum is being preserved, it does mean you need to be, swimming around corners that aren't really on screen yet.
The fish is going to troll me, I know it.
Yep, the fish once again gets out of Air's way and decides to come back around on the second pass, try to do something mean to him. No, he's out of the way. So once again, decision time.
This is a good run. I'm not going to go down the
Gonna
spike.
copter. Right.
Takes the copter. Okay, so what he could have done is skip that copter and you zigzag back and forth as you're falling and avoid these spikes. And then you die on this final set of spikes at the bottom, which successfully completes the level.
Why won't you? Oh, I need a split. Hey, I need the split. It's like, why is my timer still going? I haven't hit the space bar yet.
Oh, there you go.
So it's probably not a 0. It's probably closer to a...
It's
what,
about,
like
it's at
320?
least, it's 10 seconds or so.
So 316 about. Jeez. Yeah, definitely not going to risk a copter skip on a run like that. I think the players were looking at runs around 320-ish during practice.
I know Cards got 311.
Yeah, I end up improving it to 310.
I could get that with a perfect run without copter skip, but I will happily take a 316 or 318 or whatever it ended up being.
Were you doing all the spike gap swims except the last one?
Oh, what in the world am I doing?
No. I only really do that first one because the second one doesn't seem like it saves that much time.
No,
although,
it doesn't look like it.
Although it is nice to get because if you go around it, the sharks have a pretty good chance of actually catching you and delaying you. It's also the easiest spike skip, but then I would really hate... I have died there too many times, and really saving a second or half a second there is not worth it when I be completing runs.
Consistency is a big factor here.
I mean, I need spots I can save 7 seconds. Not half a second.
Yeah. But now that he's got a 3:16 or so, we'll get the official time in, but
I'm almost certainly going for cop to skip no matter how good the run is at this point.
The official timing is in.
It's a 3:16.63.
there it is.
I'm gonna have to, because I'm probably gonna have to kill myself just so I don't die to fish
The
later.
shark, yeah. So pressure is definitely on. I think Cards is capable of beating a 3:16 without the copter skip.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever successfully done it in a run.
Well, now would be a hell of a time to pull it off. It is really fun to see, and it's really weird. Like, I think the spikes are pretty much evenly spaced out, so you think you could just get into a rhythm of left, right, left, right, left, right. But because of the way you start, with so much momentum carrying you to the right, you need to press left like pretty quick, and then right a little slower, and then left a little slower, right a little slower, and then at the end you need to change it again to make sure you have enough momentum to bounce off of the spikes and have your dead body fly into the goal. It's entirely possible to get that far and rebound off those spikes and not quite make it because you didn't give yourself enough horizontal speed. So there's finesse getting both into and out of the copter skip. There's Cards here getting through some ducks. There it is! Copter skip.
Oh, he does it.
Looking like he's
Boom.
getting a 3:12 here, shaving 3 seconds. But Cards has also got a run coming in here.
Yeah, it turns out I didn't need to kill
Oh my
myself, and I
God.
lost 10 seconds there. Not 10 seconds, probably 5.
So he is taking the copter. Time is ticking.
Oh my god.
It's going to be a 3:12. This is a
Oh,
close
flat.
call.
What is this?
Golly.
So we'll
Alright.
get these timed out. But
No!
it looks like Air's copter skip is basically covering what Cards is out of bounds is doing for him, and they're coming out pretty even here.
Wow, that's pretty weird.
Of course, Arcano's gonna troll us and not tell us till the end.
No, you guys need
he's
the
quick.
information to
He'll get it
to
to
make
you
your
real quick.
decisions.
Again? Are you serious?
There it is, huh?
Another crash. Wow.
That I have literally never seen that before tonight.
I was more thinking Arcano's gonna troll us or not troll us and say that we tied.
That would be what I don't think we've ever encountered that situation where a tie on a match that was meant to be a tiebreaker. I don't think we're prepared for that situation.
Yeah, I think all of our ties have been in places where it didn't make a difference to the final
Yeah.
outcome of the episode.
So we would I don't know, we would convene for a short moment and figure something out.
We got backup plans. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Error's run is up there on the board. It is a 3:11.76.
I probably split late just because I didn't know exactly when to split when falling.
Yep, as soon as your toad disappears from the screen, whether it's going off the bottom or the side of the screen, either way.
Well, I knew that, but it happens kind of fast, and I was kind of excited that I actually landed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Understandable.
true.
So even though the manual splits cards had like a 0.7 lead, it seems like Error's significantly late split means
Well,
this is actually going to be even closer.
So we have the outcome here. It looks like Cards of the Heart is not in first. It is Error's run. So Error got a 311.76 and Cards has 311.98. So there's about 0.2 seconds between them.
It's a 13 frame difference.
13 frames, guys.
There's a final call for resets, right? Right?
Yep.
No,
We'll let you know.
we got another 6 minutes.
Dang.
Breath abated here for for viewers and players, I guess. But can't hold your breath for 6 minutes, so
I'm a
everyone has
toad.
to
I can
figure
hold
it.
my breath for 6
Yeah,
minutes.
I guess I think they can do that. I don't know, actually. But you're a mutant toad, so who knows what's possible.
Have you ever seen the Battletoads arcade game?
I've seen it.
It's a bit more gory than this, but entertaining to watch. I think I've seen PJ do it a couple of times.
Yep, I think he has the board for it.
Yeah, the arcade.
He has a couple of speedruns up on his channel.
And of course, there's the Super Nintendo version that we're not going to speak of.
Battle Maniacs or whatever.
I guess it wasn't a horrible game, but
It was not Battletoads on the NES, that's for sure.
I don't think it's considered nearly as good. My God, eel, leave me alone. Troll.
Both players now with these times on the board are having to get pretty bold with the things they're doing and how they're approaching some of these things. Man, I was so excited for this match because I knew this could happen.
I kind of wish I had finished that Ice Caverns run, because that was about a 355 something.
You could have had 3 like nail biters.
Yes.
Oh man. I guess the big question on Cards' mind is copter skip.
It might have to come down to that. As much as I really don't want to, and as much as I really haven't practiced it.
Like it's it's really hard to tell if you're gonna need it or not, unless you've been really been paying attention to times during practice and during play. And so you're only a couple 13 frames, right? You can make up 13 frames elsewhere without the copter skip. So there's this part of you that says, I don't have to do this really risky thing, but maybe you do. Maybe you didn't get those 13 frames and now that's the only way to beat this time. And it's not an easy question to figure out on the fly.
Without splits, it's hard to know.
Mm-hmm. You can do your own kind of mental glance at the clock when I make this jump or something, but
I feel like a 311 is pretty good.
I keep despawning this gear. Jesus
that's right.
Christ.
That has been a thing. We have not talked about it because you guys were pretty good about not despawning it. But particularly when you do the full out of bounds, you can despawn this gear, and that means the game will not keep moving forward. So you're
I despawn it 90% of the time.
Yes,
so,
actually, you're right.
so I'm actually making a spawn off screen and taking a 2-second hit every time I do it.
Right.
But it also lets me do more runs.
You just run off to the left and then back to the right
and
again?
respawn it, yeah. But
I have
Cards,
to wait because it doesn't spawn immediately.
Right.
I go off screen. I have to make a guess.
Uh-oh, I don't like this
Whereas
one.
when Cards does this out of bounds here, that's not always an option. So actually getting that gear to spawn is a sort of mad science that Battletoads runners struggle with when they're going for records.
Mad science definitely describes this goal and a lot of speedruns. It's definitely a science. There's some approach that you can take to it that will eventually get you results, but it is definitely crazy, and you're crazy for trying it. So there you go, mad science.
Okay,
Well, about 30 seconds left here.
that'll work. Okay. Looks like this is gonna be it.
Killed all 3 ducks anyway with the headbutt in the last run, so not getting a headbutt on one of them might have been a no-go anyway.
Gotta say, it seems like the Ducks have been a bit more cooperative during this match than they have been in the practice sessions that I've watched.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we've seen a duck really end a run there. But they are quite capable of it.
And that was just me messing up trying to get the headbutt on him later.
Okay, it's last call, though. Thanks for the reminder. I just looked away at the wrong time, but it's last call for resets. Last chance to reset.
Yeah, I think you were only a second or two late.
Is that reset in?
You're good.
Oh, jeez.
Is that reset in?
You're good.
I don't think that one is.
Alright, I'm gonna have to go for backup and then probably copter skip and who knows what other sorts of tight squeeze I'm gonna have to make. Oh, jeez. Ow!
And that is it. The lightning bolt from off screen, and then the rubbing it in your face afterwards on the checkpoint respawn is gonna end this match with a 13 frame difference between Error and Cards. Error comes out on top, 2-1. 3 super close matches. Probably the most exciting match we've had in the tournament
Well,
so
it's
far.
the closest one we've had in the tournament,
Closest.
for sure. I would say so.
So, win or lose, you guys both did phenomenal. Thank you so much. And neither of you is out of the tournament yet. You can't both win the tournament, but you're both still alive.
So did we get you guys partner?
I don't know.
I put a bonus game up, Cards, if you want to load that up while Error is finishing his run.
Huh?
That's the usual reaction to the bonus game.
It's not that far out there.
I'm curious too, so... Oh, huh. Yeah, that's not very far out at all, is it?
Nope.
So Cards goes ahead and loads up the bonus game.
I'm torturing myself finishing this final run.
It looks like we do have a good number of viewers, actually. Thanks
Yeah, we
everyone
sure do.
for
And
coming
make sure
out.
you tune in tomorrow as well. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday afternoon. We're going to be doing our next match of SGL. This is the other of the winner's bracket matches for this round. That's going to be Kananaphone versus Jorf. So 2 very strong players, of course, because of where we are at this point in the tournament. Of course, they're strong players. It's going to be 3 p.m. and it's Wendy Every Which Way, which is a Game Boy Color game that you probably haven't heard of, but it is excellent. Real fun playthrough, great speed game. You get to see some platforming and flipping around and walking on the ceiling.
Yeah, actually, you may have heard of the Shantae series. It has, it's not super popular, but it's got quite a cult following. It's one of those things where people either like the game or haven't played it. It's one of those. And so the Shantae series is done by Way Forward, and this is the same guys. So
Oh, it's
you'll actually
same
see
that
some.
created same people as who created Shantae. That's cool.
Yeah, so you'll see some similarities, and they also get some really cool graphics and sounds out of a Game Boy Color too.
I was 5 seconds ahead and died on Spike Skip.
There it is.
Yep,
Or
died on the
Copter
spike skip at the end. Unfortunately.
Well, we got a shout out to Era for commentary on a Zelda 2 race.
Oh, yay.
Well, if you want to load up the bonus game error, you're welcome to.
Yep, Era's ready to dive in now.
Cool. Oh, I can stop this thing from going. But yeah, we have the end of the official end of the match here. Looks like Error will advance to the next round. We don't know yet who his opponent will be. It'll be the winner of whoever's wins tomorrow's matches, so it'll be either Kananaphone or Jorf.
Yep, Era's figured out the bonus game.
You guys are jerks.
It's
Yeah.
two really fun levels.
As if
I'm
you
just
didn't have
thinking-
enough.
I'm just taking the snake warp. I'm skipping
Sure.
the walking.
Sure. You do what you want. It's your bonus game.
If you do that, then we'll give you Klinger Winger.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever's after. That's a fun one to dive into blind.
Yeah,
I think Rat Race would infuriate me more than Klinger Winger.
probably.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
we'll make you
maybe.
player 2 in Klinger Winger.
Yeah. There you go.
I already know what happens when you try that.
Right.
No, Bluggy, tonight's bonus game is Battletoads again. They're doing these other levels here that we determined are not quite right for an XGL goal, so we're gonna.
In other words,
on them.
it's about a level and a half of auto scorer.
We're gonna fun around here. You're not far off the mark though. There's Kananaphone in chat. He's gonna be on tomorrow, as we talked about. He's coming up through a match with #1 seed Dragon Dark that he came out on top of, and Jorf is coming up through a match with Jeff Sledge, who I think a lot of speedrunners think very highly of. So it should be another really good one. Gosh, what else? We got so many things, man. You can follow the channel on Twitch, of course. We're also on Twitter. I don't think we have Nightbot in the chat, so
Oh yeah, I don't think we do either.
I'll just type it out.
Lazy Nightbot out to lunch.
But we'll tweet things out if you don't want to miss the next show. And what we got YouTube VODs, and we also got this calendar. I really like this calendar. I think it's a really cool idea. Basically, there is a lot of things going on in the speedrun community all the time, and it's too much to keep track of for you. But for us, we are up to the task. So we've got this calendar, and actually, we could use your help keeping it up to date. So
Yes,
if you've got
please
something
do.
you want on that calendar, please let us know. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on there, including not just our own speed gaming stuff. So please do check that out and let us know if that's helpful, actually, because I think it could be something really, really cool. We got some other things in the works that we're working on. Not quite ready to talk about, but it'll be good. Well, how about this? How about, Fiesel, wouldn't it be cool if we had a speed gaming theme? Like we just cut in for I don't know, maybe 8-10 seconds or something. Our own little. We can't just rip off the Mario. I mean, maybe we can.
We can do that for
sudden death.
For sudden
Yeah.
death, but
But I think for the show, starting end of the show, I think we should probably have our own thing.
we should get some music together.
Yeah, but I don't know
happy to
music.
take
Do you know
suggestions.
music? Because I don't. You probably don't. You probably know a little bit, actually, because you seem to know a little bit about everything. But we could use someone who knows a little bit about music. We want to hear your SGL chiptune jingle stinger thing, because that would be amazing, I think.
You only thought I was joking about taking the warp.
There he is.
The intruder excluder. This is a tricky level right here.
It is. You're out of the frying pan.
It's
and
better
into
than
the
me
fire
trying to
on this
memorize snakes.
But
I
then
guess
you get
Card
to
seems
miss.
be working with the snakes.
Well, yeah, the only problem though is that you miss on Volkmaier's Inferno, which is just a really fun level that you don't get to see much.
Is that when you ride this? It's kind of like Turbo Tunnels.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah, that
It's
one.
Turbo Tunnels in full-on shmup mode, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty unfair.
Or auto-scroller
in
shmup
certain
kind of
spots.
thing. Yeah, a little
it is
unfair.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, the only thing I know about the snake level is how to get to the warp, because that's all the guidance is needed
That's
there.
all anyone ever does. So. Oh, damn, what is Rainwaves from? Oh, it's Toho. I should have known. Anything that sounds like someone wanking off on a guitar is probably Toho.
Alright, I'm all toted out.
All right.
Oh man, I've
just
already far surpassed
fair.
my expectations in this tournament, so I don't even
You're not even out of it yet.
I don't even care that I've got one loss so far. Don't even care.
Still,
I
that
think-
was
yeah.
nicely done, cards.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah,
played-
I got
GG
lucky on the
arrows.
I got lucky on the copter skip. Let's just be real.
There's a bit of luck involved. But
Ah.
they're still there too. But man, yeah, you guys both nailed it this episode. So I'm glad that you're at least happy with that you're able to kind of take. We've had players kind of do amazing but not win, and all they can think about is how they didn't win. And but I'm really glad you're able to see
Yeah,
what I think everyone
I
else
had-
sees, and that's what you guys did some amazing
Right.
stuff today.
I had no expectations going into this, so I was just playing with house money the entire time anyway. So yeah, GG's all. Thanks for having us on, and I guess I will catch you guys some other time.
Losers,
Alright,
losers semifinals, I think, right?
Huh?
I can't
Something
remember
like that,
what-
yeah.
This is winners semifinals.
Yeah,
This is winners semifinals is there's 4 matches going on, so we're gonna call this the overall quarterfinals.
right. It's the semifinals of the winners bracket, but overall.
Do you
the
have any idea
quarterfinals.
when that losers bracket?
Oh, that one that got delayed.
We're trying to, the one that we had to delay because of the tech problems. We're trying to reschedule it. It was supposed to be rescheduled for this weekend, but so far we're having 0 overlap between the players, so I don't know when that's going to be. As soon as we can possibly do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're not going to, well, that only is holding up some of this tournament. Not everything. We can still do other matches, and we will.
But yeah, that's gonna determine who Cards faces
Yep.
in the losers bracket, I believe.
Yes, I got past 2 snakes level.
Man, the snakes are so. I
Help!
guess it's not glitchy because it's intended, but man, does it ever look weird when you're just sticking and sliding all over these snakes.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You want to avoid the spikes.
Like, how do I do that snake?
I think it comes back around, yeah. I think we've plugged everything we want to plug. We've got the things people can follow.
Nothing
And
left to do but watch some Carnot Slayer.
yeah, alright, so for the sake of the VOD, I'll close it out. That is it for SGL today. We'll be back with another one tomorrow. Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We got Jorf and Canonophone. They're going to be playing Wendy every which way. We got VODs up on YouTube and on Twitch, and you can follow us on Twitch and Twitter. So we're just gonna ride some snakes for a little bit, and we'll catch you on the other side of one of these snake holes, I guess. Bye.
Bye-bye.